Okay, so welcome to the stream. You also today is almost the end of October, isn't it? So today we are now going through the what might hopefully be the last keynote for the month of October. So today's keynote is going to be the Xiaomi 15 and 15 Pro series keynote. So while the event starts in about a few minutes time before it starts, uh, we'll just have a quick run through of the recap of the rumors. So far, Xiaomi hasn't been that upfront about what to expect as much compared to say Oppo and Vivo, which have practically leaked almost all there is to know about their smartphones before the launch itself, which is pretty funny. So obviously there are two models, the 15/15 Pro, and the 15 Ultra is probably only coming next year. So they are amongst the first special phones with the new Snapdragon 8 Elite processor, which was supposed to be called Gen 4, but I think they probably changed the name so that they could appease their tetraphobic Chinese partners. If you don't know what it means, number 4 is considered a very unlucky number in Chinese culture because it sounds a lot like the word of death in Chinese. I know because my second language has been Chinese, so that's why I can go into the keynote itself, which is probably going to be in Chinese with no English interpreter. So it's going to have a new generation silicon carbide battery and ultrasonic fingerprint scanner. So I wonder when will Apple, Google and Samsung start adopting these silicon carbide batteries which have enabled smartphones to break past the 5000 mAh barrier while still keeping a relatively slim profile. Yep, and Android 15 no doubt HyperOS 2 next, and besides the Xiaomi phones, they also are bringing the Pad 7, the Watch S4 as well as the Band 9 Pro, their smart band, which I always think is probably the best smart band you can get on the market right now. I have a Xiaomi Band 8 and so far the connection has been pretty reliable and all that. So here's just a quick recap based on what we know from the limited leak so far. So the Xiaomi 15 Pro is also going to follow the trend of Chinese smartphones now having this quad micro curved OLED as alternative to the very curved OLEDs of the past. And it's supposedly a new generation of panels that will eat less energy as well. So you can see how they are trying to emphasize a lot on the being relatively slim compared to the specs that you get. And the Pro is supposedly going to have a 5 times periscope camera and the regular at 3.2 times. 12 gigabytes of RAM will be the base for all the models, which suggests there will be quite a lot of emphasis on AI. And here are some in real life leaks credits to Anup Prajaji on Twitter, which is an Indian Twitter account. I've tried to use reverse image search to try and find the likely, what do I call it? The Chinese origins of these leaks, but I couldn't find it, so I apologize to the people of Weibo for this. Okay, so before we actually go on to the live stream itself on Bilibili, I just would like to say a word of thanks to the 500 people that are following me on Twitter. So I've broken through the 500 barrier just now. I didn't immediately say much about it because I wanted to see whether this was going to be temporary or not. But since I've exceeded 500 followers for the past few days, I think this is here to stay. So thank you so much. And just this morning, right, there was also another smartphone event for Japan. The Xiaomi, the Leica certified Aquos R9 Pro and the Sense 9. I might review the Sense 9 in a future video for YouTube since it's relatively affordable, and I'll probably do it with 13 Galaxy channel in a collab. Yeah, something is cooking along the way. So without further ado, let's just get into it. Okay, hold on. Desktop audio. Mute. Okay, so the keynote still has about 3 more minutes to go. So this seems to be all the online retailers that are selling Xiaomi products.
武汉大学武汉校友俱乐部、电信新苏宁直播、拼多多唯品会、分期乐、天猫爱同学、小米之
已经恢复了高速增长。
So they are talking about quarterly growth, which is always necessary to appease the shareholders' cost.
在今 今天的全球经济形势下，小米交出这样的成绩单，非常非常的不容易。小米的同学们也非常的努力。
So they basically saying that it's not easy to get the results that they have, and they are trying to thank their customers. They just call students.
我们的手机业务呢
This is Lei Jun, the Xiaomi founder and boss.
据全
So they are now talking about the Canalys Q3 2024 results, where they are basically the number third smartphone manufacturer in the world in terms of market share.
大家呢特别关心
Although
小米
Oppo and Vivo, and now they're talking about their Xiaomi SU7, how much they have sold, which is about
目标呢是
1 to 20,000
万台，
units in 7 months. But obviously, we don't know how it's going to perform outside China though.
这就意味着我们将
So this is the chart shows how much they are selling in a quarter.
成为
And they say they are beating the Tesla Model 3 in terms of sales in China.
甚至是成为不限能源形式的中大型轿车销量的数一数二。
So talking about they are among the top selling mid-size cars in China now. So I'm bringing some good news.
上午已经搞定，
So in October alone, they said they came to have sold 20,000 SU7s. I think the vast majority are in China.
就成功的迈上了月销2万台的台阶，还是一款纯电轿车。这也说明小米苏7受到了用户极为广泛的支持。
So they are just saying that they claim that, oh, that shows that people really love Xiaomi's cars.
因为智能驾驶是电动车竞争的技术高地。
They're talking about autonomous driving being the next big frontier.
我不知道大家还记不记得，我们在3年前就立了一个 flag， 要在今年年底
So they are
跟行业
reiterating the goal they have about selling Xiaomi cars.
10月我们看一下进展。第一个，城市领航，全国都能开。
So they're talking about some form of autonomous driving that can be used around
这个
the
技术呢，
entire part of China.
竞争的也很激烈啊。目前国内已经有3-4家车厂已经搞定了，正在全量推送。那么
Introducing it across the various authorized dealers
我们
within
已经
China.
搞定了。10月30号开启全量推送，就是明天。
So tomorrow, I think they are having a the complete rollout.
这样的研发速度，我相信大家
Rollout.
也会
So I think it's probably in the form of an
团队
OTA update, if I'm not wrong. But it will be very interesting to see how they're going to sell the SU7 outside China though. Because all these retailers,
模型
oh,
这
never
是
mind.
行业最前沿的技术。今年年初，特斯拉推动了这个技术的发展。
I think it's about autonomous lane driving.
一边呢是传感器输入信息，另外一边呢就直接输出驾驶指令，中间就是个黑盒，只靠一个大模型，然后大数据直接学习。
So they are talking about using AI and large
各种技术
LLMs to achieve this autonomous driving experience.
驾驶非常非常的神奇，而且这个技术呢确实是什么都能开。
They claim that they can be used basically everywhere.
最激烈的、最前沿的阵地。当然，这个技术呢也有难点。假如你训练不到位，就会出现各种莫
They are talking about the
幻觉。
difficulties in training the AI system for autonomous driving.
是说，端到端的技术啊，上限很高，什么都能开，但是下限很低，它不保证体验。所以大家比拼的是谁能保住下限，谁能把体验做好。那么我们小米呢？我们小米用端到端的大模型，不是出一条执行轨迹，我们出多条执行轨迹，筛选最佳路径。
I think something about using multiple lanes of data to select the right course of
下
action.
线呢有保底，所以呢更稳定、更安全。目前我们的进展呢非
Because
常非常
just remember, no matter how good they make the system, it still won't totally replace
今天
your
大
own
家
manual sense of driving though, I'm pretty sure.
我们还做了车位到车位，上车呢就可以用，能够过 ETC， 能够过闸机，狭窄
So it can basically go through all those narrow spaces within China.
自动的询
It
问
can auto
车
it can auto park, that's auto valet if I'm not wrong.
就是车位到车位啊，
So I think the autonomous driving, they're basically saying how good the autonomous driver is. The autonomous driving is so good that it can even navigate crowded and tight
下
spaces.
个月底的话呢，我们就可以开始定向邀请内测，12月底推
So
出
the rollout is
全
going to be
版
phased between November and December for this autonomous driving software update. Based on what I can understand from here.
小米的自驾呢进入了新的阶段，也标志着我们无可争议的跻身了行业的第一阵营。我也深深的为我们自驾团队骄傲。
So basically, he's thanking the team who has managed to fine-tune the AI system.
最核心的一个原因是什么呢？小米的铁律技术为本。我们这些年来持续的加大了研发投资。
So they're basically boasting about how many,
240亿人民币。我们预计明天的投资
how much money they have invested in R&D.
这样的曲线在增长。我记得2017年我们一年
How much? I think this is in terms of millions of Chinese yuan, something like that.
我们的研发投资极其关注底层核心技术，我们持续地投入了 AI、OS 芯片。
So basically, their new idea is to integrate AI, their software, and probably their own chips, own custom-made chips. That is probably their long-term end game.
互联和 AI 有了巨大的提升。下面的话，有请金凡来发布新一代的澎湃 OS。
Now they're talking about HyperOS 2. It's now coming up. So Lei Jun is handing over to one of his deputies. 闭关1年。
前段时间米粉朋友们都挺关注这个话题，确实闭关了1年。
闭关1年。
我非常荣幸能够代表我们数千人的研发团队，给大家来交闭关作业。
He's probably talking about something last year. HyperOS 1, what they have achieved so far. They have achieved, they can support over 20 file management systems, including FAT, XFAT, supports 200 over chipsets, and now has its own custom software SKUs, many different SKUs. So they are talking about how they couldn't achieve everything that they wanted within that year.
把所有的精力都放在研发和交付上面。那么，基于1.0的强大的架构呢，小米澎湃 OS 2.0应该
澎湃 OS is HyperOS 2 in Chinese.
体验改进呢，真的是事半功倍，所有的进展都非常的顺利，因而呢，
So everything has been going smooth.
当然呢，我们自己说了不算，所以先给大家看一看媒体和米粉朋友们的第一眼的感受。
So they are basically rolling out all the glowing testimonies from the press about Xiaomi's HyperOS. Again, those stupid animation tests which I really don't care at all. They talk about how good the smoothness and responsiveness is. All the stupid kind of tests, this is just basically test that makes no sense to me, to be very honestly speaking. All this animation test is probably one of the stupidest in the world, So I'm not sure why Xiaomi is making such a big hoo-ha about it. So talking about how some things have been slowed to 1.5 milliseconds up from 7. Okay, talking about Geeker 1's heat sustenance test. Efficient, yeah, the gaming test as usual.
CPU 的空转次数直接降低了50%啊！哇，真给小米调成了。实话说，做出暂缓新功能开发，去做基础功能的决心，确实不容易。怪不得双十一启动仪式。
Talking about how good the heat management is.
小米澎湃 OS 这一次给力酱。
Not sure why they're not talking more about things like ease of access and how easy it is to use.
透露出背后的第一个词应该是强劲。其实，在
强劲
澎湃 OS 2强劲的背后呢，是小米 HyperCore， 它是我们一个系列的自研底层核心技术的集合。
HyperCore, I think they're talking basically about the key components of their HyperOS, which is capability. First is
我们其实是深入
About
硬
the
件底层
hardware
去
itself, I
进
think
行
the
到
link
构建
between
常
the
见
hardware and the
核心
software,
技术包括自研的微架构调度器，还
the
有
new
接
file
单
management
和
system,
关
it
心存
seems
储的
over
安全。
here.
那我们
And
拿自研微架构
something
调度
about
体系来说呢 ，CPU 能效的微观瓶颈之一呢，
I think
就
it's
是
talking
空
about
转
CPU
和异
cache, if
频
I'm not wrong, how they are optimizing
CPU
it.
在运算的时候，有时候需要等待后端访存，把任务数据递交给它。那
So
么
I think they're
媒体
talking about some
媒体老师呢有一
inefficiencies
个
in the
非常
way the
实
CPU
用的比
operates.
喻啊
So
如果我们把 CPU 比作一个发动机的话，那么这个空转呢，就好像在给油门，但是挂空档。那油确实费了不少，但车不动。
basically they are
所
waste.
以呢，
Basically,
我们
this
去提升
part here is
CPU
basically
以上的这个
wasted
调度之一呢，
efficiency.
我
In
们
other words,
减少空转。首先，我们要能够精准的判断到这个空转的时机。
actually this part is the
然
part,
后
the
第二，
gray
我们
part
要
is
通
where
过
they're
几
talking
个
about
模型去
inefficiencies.
提升平静器件的这个频率，并且降低 CPU 在空转下面的这个空转频率。当然，这是一个非常简化的模型啊，实际的情况要比这个复杂很多。因为 CPU 这个发动机啊，它不是一个发
So
动机。
basically, they are saying that CPU is much more than what it seems. Big cores, middle cores, and the little cores. Little cores is the efficiency ones. The middle one is the performing ones, and this one is the prime core.
其实会有成千上万的任务。
So talking about 10,000 sorts of tasks that are being assigned to the
并且
CPU.
任务之间还会有依赖关系，有的任务会依赖于前一个任务的完成才能够去。
So some tasks, some things have to be done first before others can be done.
微架构调度器需要去完成的事情，就是需要去在每个关键的瞬间持续做出最优决策。
So basically, it's about making the right decision to do all the tasks effectively. Which
那我们
task
在
should be given to which
通过
cores?
这个技术的演进呢，我们成功的让 CPU 的空转时长降低了
So they are
16%，
reducing CPU efficiencies by 19%.
提升了16%，
IPC has increased by 16%.
降低了46%。
Something has been reduced by 46%.
那我们回到这个性能技术级呢，它其实是最底层的这一层。那
So
我们再来
CPU is the
说一下
base
级别
fundamental base of
级
this.
别带宽技术就是刚才说的，系统需要非常精准且提前的把所有的任务数据准备好，并且运输到这个待处理区。
So it's everything about making sure that the cache is done but
我们成功
is
的让
organized
微密
correctly.
率降低了8%，并且前台的 I/O 性能提升了40%。
So something about making the
还有
cache
很多
more
的地
efficient.
方包括我们的换新存储，所有这些东西都是深入到硬件底层去逐层构建一个
So
非
a lot of
常
the things are
强
down to the
的
very
高品质
fundamental
的
hardware levels
上
to
那
optimize
当然
Hyper
有
OS.
技术以后呢，我们最终的
So this is the real, the so-called results they have
我们的
recorded
自动启动的时延应该是
in
相
how they
当
managed to
的
reduce the
并且
responsive,
我们的
increase the responsiveness by reducing the time
功耗
taken.
在去年表现已经很优秀的前提之下，继续降低了13.2%，这些都特别的了不起。同时呢
Okay, this is their
刚才
TV,
说的是手机
tablet
那我们不
and
只是手机
smartwatch.
所有覆盖了澎湃 OS2 的设备，
How
包
they
括
have,
电
how
视
Hyper OS on these
手表
devices, how they
通
managed
通
to
在关键的流畅
increase
度上
responsiveness,
指标上有大幅度
responsiveness.
提升。然后接下来再跟大家说一下图形技术级。图形啊，其实有个非常关键的事情是渲染效率，因为
I think they are talking about how they're optimizing the visuals that appear on screen.
一个流畅并且低功耗的情况递交给用户去体验到一个复杂
Oh, I say animation, I'm thinking.
那么在2.0中间呢，我们的联合渲染2.0，我们通过算法的优化，在多窗口重叠的时候呢，我们的系统
I think they are now talking about animation of the windows
20%，并且让功耗降低
and the
15%。
ads.
同样的道理呢，我们在通过算法的优化，让高级材质渲染的性能提升了25%，功耗降低了17%。但想重点跟大家说一下的是异构计算技术。异构计算技术呢，我们刚才说到 CPU 是一个强大
So
的
they're now
环
talking
但
about
是 CPU 之外呢
parallel
我们还有
operations, if I'm not
GPU 还
wrong,
有 NPU 这两个
NPU and GPU.
它是一个
Basically, they are
偏
complete.
特
They're saying that how
性
NPUs
非
and
常强大
GPUs are not being
在某
optimized
特定的
well
计算
in
中的
typical
非常高
OS
但很多
usage.
时候没有被充分利用到。
So
所以呢，我们的异构计算就是我们需要基于对 GPU 和 NPU 的深刻理解，通过我们的算法调教，把复杂的图形任务分解到它最适
So
合的
basically,
单元
splitting the responsibilities
CPU GPU
to
和
part
协
part of
同
it
计算
to the GPU
这让
and
我
the
们在特定领域
NPU.
图形渲染效率有了质变，甚至在某些领域提升了12倍以上。
So you can increase the graphic responsiveness by up to 12
去
times.
驾驭以前不敢去驾驭的复杂图形效果。 因此呢，我们在基于强劲图形技术的基础上面呢，我们重新设计了整个澎湃 OS 2.0。
So they re-engineered HyperOS to achieve smooth animations and features.
包括像锁屏上非常复杂的这个混色效果，还有实时渲染的这个光波。
So these are the examples of the animations in HyperOS 2.
还有更为复杂精细的高级材质和非常还原的这个天象，以及所有的包括相册、时钟、日历等等。而且不仅是手机，我们的手表、电视、
This also affects their televisions, smartwatches, and tablets as well.
焕然一新的生命感的设计。
So they're basically trying to make their animations look as lively as possible. And so these are the 4 aspects of HyperCore they're focusing on: abilities, graphics, internet connectivity, and safety. These are the 4 core principles they are talking about.
那我想，如果用第二个词来形容，
好用 ，easy to use. Is it good to use?
我们的小米 HyperConnect 跨端互联框架今天已经连接了全球超过10亿台设备。
HyperConnect seems to be something to do with optimizing connectivity to minimize latency and all that.
连接、数据传输、时延上面表现再上一层楼，达到了行业的领先水准。那因为有了这个领先的生态和技术。
So leading edge technology that can make their experience more accessible and great to use. So this is basically using mirroring the phone screen on the tablet.
但是1.0有个问题，就是手机上的应用还是受限于这个框。那么在
So basically, I think they're talking about how you can interact with the phone screen and push the window onto the tablet itself.
它就像在平板上的应用一样。
So basically, it's like transferring the app from the phone to the tablet, taking the integration, the mirroring from just the simple act of mirroring the phone screen onto the tablet one step further.
你可以把手机上的应用直接拼在你的平板上面，
And you can pin the smartphone app onto your tablet itself.
更好用，更简单。那我再跟大家举第二个例子啊。 第二个例子是个直播的例子，今天大家
So here's another example of connectivity syncing between devices, it seems.
拍自己一路拍操作是
This basically 2 angles in one shot.
知道的是，在这个简单的镜头背后啊，其实还是挺复杂的。
Yeah, so this is how difficult it is to shoot at 2 angles in one shot. You can see like this in the live broadcast. So HyperOS 2, what I can do is, it seems like you can use 2 devices, connect 2 devices to create the same multi-cam effect. That's what I think he's talking about. So you can basically do away with the two people in the previous, in the conventional setup, this live broadcaster and the secondary cameraman. You just need 1 tablet and 1 phone, and that's enough already. Live streaming on games. Basically, this is basically meant to make your life more easier when it comes to live streaming by using a multi-cam setup. And now they're talking about how they can expand HyperConnect to the Apple ecosystem, which I think the EU is probably taking a good look at.
你只要在苹果设备上安装小米的互联服务，就可以。
So you can install a Xiaomi app on your Apple devices, and you can then access on some of their Xiaomi services on your Apple devices. Probably has to do a lot with smartphones, smart home accessories, and IoT. So you can basically directly look and transfer files from your Xiaomi phone to your Mac. Or you can even mirror your Xiaomi phone screen onto macOS itself. Well, I think Samsung should also do that as well. And they have something very good material, marketing material for their own advertisements.
强烈推荐苹果和小米的双持用户使用。还有太多的功能，受限于时间来不及跟大家介绍。但是正因为我们的强大的互联能力呢，让所有的跨设备。
So this is about the summarizing all the connectivity options you can do with Xiaomi HyperCore app. So this space is talking about active, lively, dynamic operating system.
但是今天呢，我首先不跟大家说技术。
So this is now their mandatory Hyper AI. about how they're using the AI functions that they are talking about right now.
我想先跟大家说，就是我们凭借着 AI 技术，怎么样可以给大家带来鲜活且好用的功能。那我们先来看第一个例子。那锁屏很熟悉，对吧？那今天已经是一个时代，到处都是短视频，但是呢，唯独锁屏还是很难生动起来。那我们的同事呢，他拍了一个小视频，是他家的猫。
Talking about how they are turning short videos into something.
澎湃 OS2 的锁屏上，就变成了这个样子。
Oh, so he basically turned the short video into a lock screen wallpaper.
镜头感和故事感。
Pretty impressive, don't you think?
那这是我们基于 AI 计算的电影感锁屏。
Cinematic using AI to achieve a cinematic style video.
看一个例子，比如说这一段女生的一个视频啊，非常的好看。那当你把它应用到你的锁屏桌面上的时候，它就和背后的时间形成了一个非常柔和的一个具备电。
So they are planning using AI to achieve a 3D effect on the lock screen wallpaper.
整个这个 AI 的电影感锁屏呢，应该是让你的这个锁屏能够彻底进入到动态。
So this AI effect basically just used to create some very impressive looking lock screen wallpapers.
欢迎大家到时候上手来体验，并且给你的朋友们看一看这个独特。
Which I personally don't see what is so fancy about this. I rather just have quick instant unlock to my home screen rather than seeing all those wallpapers. But maybe that's just me.
有些遗憾，比如说这个精美的海浪，对吧？
Okay, now they're talking about the home screen wallpapers. So they're using AI to basically turn static wallpapers into live wallpapers. Like this. So if you remember live wallpapers, it'll be very interesting to see. I hope there's option, however, if you can, to just use short videos directly as your home screen wallpaper. Okay, something about AI sketch. So you can turn your sketches into your rough sketches. Oh, this is basically very similar to Samsung's sketch to AI image. And you can then modify it further using AI prompts. Edit the image based on these AI prompts. And about AI transcripts. Distinguish them in terms of who is speaking and summarizing what has been said, the standard AI functions, AI composition and writing functions, how to write reviews and all that, AI translation as well. So, including live captioning, please remember that this is China, so they don't have Google's AI to rely on, so every brand there must build their own AI function stack. So it's not likely that all of these functions will be made available for the global version of HyperOS. Just saying, maybe a small portion will, but we'll see. Okay.
系统智能化在今天是一个非常前沿的趋势。那么整个业界啊，其实有各种各样的说法。那有的说法呢，会非常的晦涩难懂。还有很多人的说法呢，其实他们在说系统智能化，其实是在说刚才的 AI 功能。我们认为啊，我们作为一个务实的公司，认为如果在一个前沿趋势发生的情况下面，能用简单且精准的事情去描述的话，其实是更为难得的。所以在此也分享一下我们对 AIOS 的看法。我们认为构建
So they are talking about how they want their AIOS to be like. 3 key components: knowledge, intelligence, memory, and the ability and the output. What can the AI can actually think on its own.
一个是记忆和感知，另外一个是操作能力。因为如果没有感知，
So these are the two things that are very important as well.
更适合当下环境的决策。如果没有操作能力，可能最后很多的操作还需要你或者说用户来去完成。我们认为这是3个重要的前提。因此呢，我们打开看小米 Hyper AI， 其实我们 Hyper AI 这个
So this is they are basically talking about their design of their Hyper AI. The top is knowledge.
还有自研的30B 大模型和多垂类的模型呢，它是让我们的思考能力可以不断的去迭代和升级，这对应的是智慧这个架构。然后包括我们构建了端侧的 和记忆架构，它能
memories and feeling
感知能力，还有理解和记录的能力，这个对应的是感知和记忆。同样，我们还有非常强大的且庞大的基建，就是端引擎和我们全生态的物联网基建，它对应的是全生态设备的操控能力。 这三者缺一不可。那
So all those
小
three
米
components are
和
necessary to create
在
a
系
good
统中间
AI
它们
in
有它的交
Xiaomi's
互
marketing
那这个交互
terms.
的化身，就是我接下来要跟大家重点介绍的。
So this is so the so Xiaoai 同学 is basically Xiaomi's AI used in
小
China,
爱，很高兴又见
which is
面
basically
了。
the replacement of Google Assistant in China.
这就是我
Xiaoai
们
同学。
结合
So
了
now
Apple
Xiaoai
AI
has
的
been
小爱
upgraded
变
to
成
a
了超级小爱。
Super Xiaoai, in other words,
那给大家
which
介
sounds
绍
like
一
the
下
name of a Chinese
首先
superhero
我们
comic
拥有
book,
多么态的
in
交
my
互
opinion.
那么在全新的超级小爱里面呢，你不仅可以说，也可以写。
So besides
然后同时呢，
speaking to
最
number,
重
you
要
can
的是
also
大家
write
注意看
to
底下有3个按钮。
Super
第一个按钮
Xiaoai.
呢是对屏幕的识别和感知。那么你点一下以后呢，你会发现它
Or you
可以识
can
别
also do
主要
something
的
like
元素
intelligent
你可以去选择
searching
也可
of
以
the
去
screen,
甚至可以去
circle
圈
to
定图片
search.
这是非常的方便。然后它中间的这个按钮是感知
This
世界
is
对你一起看
basically
相
seems
当
to
于
be
小爱
a
不爱看。
version
不
of
管是
Google
你在
Lens.
博物馆中间看到
Yeah,
一个
this is
展
the
品，
version
让
of
它看一
Google
眼
Lens, in other
它
words.
可以告诉你这幅画作或者说
And then it can describe to you what this
说
is
植物
all about,
小爱也可以帮
what
你
kind of
起来
species
照
it is.
当然，这是普通的一些基本操作。超级小爱具备感知和
So
操作能
super.
力，因此呢，你其实可以用更自然的方式去和它交互。
So basically, talking about how interactions with Super Xiao will
比
be
如说有时候
Xiaoai
看到
will be
一
even
篇
more
文章，而
natural.
且这篇文章是英文的哈，那我没有
Okay,
没
so
有去读
here's an
但是
example of
你拿这个摘
using
要，你就可
Super
以知道
Xiaoai
这篇文章讲
to
了什么。
live translate as well as summarize this
然后小爱就会快速
article for
一
you.
句话描述，文章介绍了小米苏7电动汽车的外观。
So it's doing two things at once. First is to translate, and second is to summarize this article.
那再比如说，还有一个例子，有的时候你跟你的朋友
Okay,
聊天，
this
朋友
is
说
talk.
哎
He's
呀，我要
talking
坐
about
飞机过来了，你说我去接你吧，
about
我说好
this
呀。
flight
但这个时候你要想，
CA824.
这个飞机几点到？我应该什么时候去接，对吧？其实
So
这
the
个
question is, what time should I
这个
arrive
时候
at the
你只要跟
airport?
小爱说一句，这个航班还有多久到？
So ask basically how long, when will this flight arrive to the airport?
4航班。
So now the AI is saying, basically it's trying to interpret what time the plane will end at the
再说
airport.
一个简单的例子，比如说有的时候你不管是在点评，或者说各种地方看见了有个地址，你想去的话，
So
你
this
得
is
记
the
住，并且
basically you are trying to
再去
extract
再去粘
address from a social media
你
post
也可以对小爱说一句
and
导航去哪里
navigating to this area directly. So basically you're asking the AI to navigate you to the area that you're seeing in the social media post. And you do it directly rather than say
做一些更复杂的操作，
through many apps, the barriers of many
把
apps.
照片找出来，并且投在电视上。
Prompt is asking you
确定
to basically take last month's photos I took of the child in the beach
它帮你完成
and then
操作。
cast it onto the TV. So this is all about basically
这个也是一个
tasking Xiaoai with very complicated multi-step procedures to achieve.
并且
And
呢
Xiaoai can even serve as a
记忆
chatbot.
聊得越多，它就越懂你。
And the more you talk with it, then the better it understands
大
you.
模型或者说
So
感知
basically
记
it
忆以及
becomes
操作
something like an AI
能力的冰山一角。
friend of
但我们
sorts.
总体认为，今天啊，其实通往系统自动化的路还很长。
And they are talking about how there's still a lot of room for improvement in the future.
一个入门阶段。
And this is
所以
just the
呢
beginning.
我们是心怀畏惧，要去认认真真、踏踏实实的做好这件事情。那为此呢，我们也定了一个小目标，就是正因为
So their goal right now
我们今天
is
超级小爱啊，
to turn
先努力
Super
做好一个
Xiaoai
小助理。
into become a very good helper first.
那么做好小助理的第一件
Once
事
this
情呢，
task
就
is
是第一
finished,
件大事啊。
then the big task is to help you remember, help you to find, and help you to fill up information on your behalf.
耗费大家的精力。因此呢，在超级小爱中间，各种证照啊，你全都可以让它帮
So
你
it can
记下来
basically
挑出
help
一个记
ask you
忆
to remember passport,
对吧？
tickets, driving licenses, ID cards, all these kind of things. You can ask Xiaoai to remember, although I'm not sure what are the privacy implications of this though, and whether this may turn off some consumers. And then from there, you receive the information that you give to Xiaoai about your private information. You can then basically ask it to fill up the autofill on your behalf when you need it.
非常的方便。
Yeah, it's really interesting, but I'm still a bit skeptical about the privacy drawbacks of
我们要
it.
看个视频，我们要记一个
Okay, so you can also ask Xiaoai to
猫生三
save
件套
all
或者
these
说记一个什么
internet
文章
connects you
对
see
吧
on your
你也
behalf.
记一下。
So you just tell Xiaoai to please help me remember
小爱
record this for me
真的像一个小助理一样。那包括
to serve as something like a
比如说
personal
我举个典型
assistant.
的例子，大家约吃饭， 然后朋友给你发来了一个他订好的地方，并且用另一句话跟你说：“哎呀，我订在了这个包厢是什么？是谁谁谁订的，对吧？”你跟小爱说一句，记一下。
Okay, so this also
单
asking
程
Xiao Ai to basically turn a message chat into a event on your calendar.
一个专业助理干的事情。甚至啊，还有很多你没有说的日程，你订的酒店。
And then you can also basically infer from your, for instance, ticket booking, then you can add into your calendar and schedule as well. Oh, hi Ollie Gamer Boy, nice to see you here. So, you can also even help you remember your various passwords and other things like who has borrowed my book and what do I put inside this cabinet, all these kind of things. So you just tell it to remember and then it will recall for you when necessary when you ask it again. What they can tell you. And this AI assistant, Super Xiao can help you find photos based on what you say to it, just natural text. For instance, help me find some firework photos I took in the past. The middle is finding videos, finding video where I took the dog on the planes. Another is where I parked my car and based on the photo that you took previously. Ollie Game Boy, nice to see you here. So, sorry if I can't really talk to interact with chat because I'm busy translating what they are saying.
每次我出门后，对吧？就是，来，我们再看一遍哈。
Okay, something went wrong with the PowerPoint. So if you tell it every time I leave house, please turn off all the lights and sweep the floor. So once it learns about your life habits, if for example if it thinks that the temperature is cold, then it can tell you whether or not you want to warm up the car in advance before you enter the car itself. So for instance, once you finish washing your clothes, you can adjust the dryer to appropriate position. Once you have gone to sleep, you can turn off the lights in your living room. When you wake up, it can basically open the curtain blinds on your behalf.
也是一件大事。就是超级小爱是一个严守秘密的助理。
So I think they are now talking about the privacy protections within Super Xiao Ai.
信息对吧？都是端侧硬件及加密保存。
So they're all being protected under
在小爱绘画功能左上角你点一下，做了身份识别以后，你就可以去查看。
You can protect what memories you have put Xiao Ai using a password. Not keep behind a password. And you can go and manage each individual memory you feed into Xiao Ai individually. And you can make it forget the memories if you want to.
那所以我们认为今天超级小爱努力要做好你的小助手是我们今天的目标。但是往长远看呢，看整个
So in the long term,
未来随着我们大模型能力的不断提升
as LLMs continue to improve,
增强，以及我们操控能力进一步闭布到整个全生态设备中间，小爱将成为你离不开的一个忠实伙伴。
So basically, they want Xiao Ai to become your lifelong companion you can't live without.
这就是我们给大家介绍。
So most so as aspect that HyperOS 2 very much is talking about using AI to do all this, all that, as well as interconnectivity with both Xiaomi and Apple devices. So this is what HyperOS 2 seems to be all about.
这个功能和超级小爱。那所以呢，我们也非常感谢。
So these are all the apps that I think have collaborated with Xiaomi to make HyperOS 2 possible. So this is the rollout schedule for HyperOS 2.
第一批存量机型11月份就开始陆续推送。
So this is the devices that will launch with HyperOS 2. This is the first batch that we received from November. Second batch in November. Third batch from next year onwards. It might not be an exhaustive list given how many phones that Xiaomi has produced. So maybe the global list will be a little bit different.
往前一些的芯片，大模型整个是一个比较新的技术，所以如果我们往前一点看的芯片呢，它不能够特别好的去支持一些最新的大模型技术，所以有些机型，即便我们上了 Hyper AI， 它的表
So
现
they're trying to explain why certain phones might get the updates later than others, even when they have newer chips,
支持的设备上面能够表现尽可能的好。
which is basically about optimizing and maximizing the capability possible. So today, if you're in China, you can now receive HyperOS 2 beta on these smartphones and tablets if you want to.
超级小爱，因为这个
And when will Super 小爱 be
所以
ready?
我们打算把它单独和 OSR
都
分开来去内测。
There will be a separate beta from HyperOS 2 altogether for November, and they tend to release it to the general public
我们
in
12月
December.
会正式开始陆续去发布它。然后，同样的，超级小爱我们的内测今天晚上就会开始招募，也欢迎大家到我们的官网和社区上面去了解更多的详情。那以上呢，就是我今天跟大家介绍的主要内容。接下来给大家看一个短片，然后我们欢迎雷总上场。
So they're now passing the torch back to Lei Jun himself, the big boss himself. So intro video of HyperOS 2. Active is the main slogan, dynamic is the main slogan. The live wallpapers, live wallpapers. Responsive gaming experience. Animations being very smooth. Entire ecosystem. Active and a lively one even, and a multi-cam setup being possible with just minimum 2 devices, and turning what you see on your smartphone into a big tablet screen. You being able to use drag and drop between Mac and Xiaomi. And now this is where the AI really comes in with Super Xiao Ai, or what they call Hyper AI.
我在。
这个都是 OK。This is basically some Google Lens AI writer, AI memorizer for you, to help you find things based on natural language that you would tell to, for instance, a personal assistant. Basically, do a lot of very complicated commands. In other words, that would normally rely on using multiple apps, going through multiple apps. So about how secure HyperOS 2 is, how you can manually intervene to make it forget memories you want it to forget. Okay, I wonder how many of these AI features will make it to the global version, especially when you have Gemini to compete against, you know? That's the thing.
OSR 怎么样？
Leiji is asking how good is HyperOS 2 launch. Is it amazing?
好，我们小米的高端化战略
Okay, now he's talking about the Xiaomi numbered series
5代的产品，
since
小米
2020.
呢在
5
手机上面的
generations.
能力呢在不断的提升。
How their abilities to make products have improved, to make better and better products.
小米15
And now comes the Xiaomi 15 series.
体验最流畅，外观最精致，
The smoothest, best looking, best
小屏旗舰。
hand infused
我们先看
Xiaomi phone of all time.
视频之后呢，就请许飞来发布。
So I think they are now going to the Xiaomi 15 intro video, the review video. I'm not a big fan of the camera island design. It feels a bit uninspired to me though, really. Okay, Xiaomi 15.
全新的小米15好看吗？
No, this lady is asking you, do you like the Xiaomi 15? Is it good looking?
的好评，
I just say it's very mid and very average in my opinion.
惊艳极致，确实，小米15就是我们最极致的小尺寸旗舰。
So
拥有
it's
非
basically
常
the
多
slimmest
前所未有的特点。我给
phone
大家
they
介绍
have
一下
developed.
首先呢，就是前所未有的精致。我
So in-hand view, 6.36 inch screen with 1.38 millimeter bezels all corners,
现在
all
就
around.
完成了友商参照的标准答案。我们再看一下边框，这是一
The
个
side
金
face,
属磨砂的边框，泛着柔和的
sandblast
质感
aluminium to give a very
非常的
smooth
细腻
in-hand
我
feel.
们再放大看一下细节啊，
So
你会
they
发
are
现这个边框通过一个非常柔和的圆
so
角
a very
到了机身的背板，
well
就像
fine-tuned
樱花
unibody,
顺滑
a
自然。
quasi-unibody
咱们再
feel,
看一下相机的镜组，
even though the
这
back
次
and
的
frame
相
are
机
actually separate.
简约克制，没有任何断层，没有任何
Something about the
折叠
camera island being very
用一个
3D in
叫
nature.
做 3D 冷雕的技术，让玻璃背板微微延伸出一个火山口，来衔接住整个镜头的模组。
Okay, they are talking about something about the design of the camera island.
我们为大家带来了4个特别好
So
的
these are the 4 color
首
choices
先
you have.
丁香紫，这是一个我们首次为小尺寸旗舰打造的
A
特
purple
别
that actually looks strangely
我们
blue in
采用了
color. I have no idea why.
盛开的时候最浅最温暖的颜色，女生特别喜欢。
They are targeting these colorways at the
我
girls.
们内部有人说，这搞不好会成为新一代的猛男子。接下来呢是浅草绿，这是一个
Green,
温
which is
柔
also
柔
not
媚的
really
颜
that
色
different in terms of
它拿
blue.
着
It seems like
手
Xiaomi has
感
run out of
手里的
ink
薄薄
for their
纱
smartphones.
我们来看一下白色，白
White,
色是非常
okay.
经典而百搭的颜
That's
色，
one of the
也是我
standard
自己特
colors.
别喜欢的颜色啊。这次的白色不一样，我们在里面加入了一点点的暖调，所以这个白色又温柔又干净。还有很多人关心黑色，对不对？这次的黑色
And
好
black.
度爆表，我们在里面融入了一点点的灰度，让它有了
Adding a little bit of gray to give it the unique touch of Xiaomi 15. The colors are pretty mid though, but it probably won't matter since most people are putting their phones in cases anyways.
一边直平直的背板，它整体来讲特别的利落，但是呢，机身所有衔接的部分都非常的柔滑，全身没有一处锐角，就是那
So
种
everything about being very smooth.
细节中又有一点恰到好处的圆滑。我觉得这次设计这个分寸的拿捏有点厉害啊，给我们的设计师点个赞。
So they are telling you to please praise the designers who designed the Xiaomi 15.
除了前所未有的精致，我们的小米15还拥有前所未有的手感。
The in-hand view of Xiaomi 15, the dimension, 71.2 millimeters narrowness,
黄金握持
1.191 grams of
容易掌握
weight, and 8.08 millimeters of thinness,
比 iPhone 16啊也是更轻和更薄。
and even better than iPhone 16 in terms of
在这里
thinness
大家看一下
and weight.
叫做4曲包裹式中框，这也是我们行业首创的啊。顾名
Okay.
思义，它就是让机身的边框向前向后延伸。
So something about very special CNC design for the metal side frames.
通过高精度的 CNC 削切，慢慢雕琢而成，所以它的工艺精度非常的高。
So about CNC craftsmanship being very high quality.
整个黄金手感最关键的，为什么这么说呢？
Why is it so? Why is the CNC side frame feel so important? They are telling you
还是你握持它，因为没有任何一处锐角，
because
所以这个
this
机身
is the
特别
part of the
柔
phone
握在手里极为舒服。
that is the most
手感背后
frequently
还有
touched.
几个小秘密，我也跟大家讲一下啊。首先是配重，50
So this is about the weight distribution ratio of 50 to 50.
所以你拿在手里，它
So regardless of how you hold the phone, it will still be comfortable.
重脚轻
It won't feel top heavy.
避免了有一些小尺寸还有大呆口带来的手感灾难。还有呢，我们的设计师专门为大家留了一个非常方便握持的空间，
And a 10 centimeter
到机身
and the
大于10厘米
gap between this part of the camera island to this
确保大
part.
家日常使用。
There is a sufficient gap to ensure that your fingers don't block the camera island by accident.
打磨，无论从它的机身尺寸、重量还是握持的细节，我们都非常的考究。前几天啊，我们公司的销冠给了我一个顺口溜，他说以后咱看这手机手感好不好，咱就看这4句话。
So the
黄
four
金尺寸一手握，
four criteria for a good hand
不硌手，
smartphone
平
feel.
衡配重不坠手，日常握持不挡手。怎么样？我们销冠厉害吗？
Something about in-hand feel, something about balance,
然后
weight
你发现
distribution,
如果你
and
是一
all
个
that.
特别在意手感、追求极致的同学，你如果拿这个标准去检验所有的手机，包括 iPhone 16 Pro 在内，
So they are talking about how if you use all these
15是你的
benchmarks to benchmark your in-hand view, you should choose the Xiaomi phone because it fulfills all of these criteria very well. Okay, now they're talking about it has IP68 rating.
这就是我们小米15的外观，前所未有的精致，前所未有的手感。哇，这真的是几代打磨的心血啊！我们的终极答卷。所以这次为什么大家这么好评呢？因为很多人都说这次小米15太厉害了，那真是一眼 crush。
Basically self-praising the Xiaomi 15 design in other words.
精致度已经达到了
So they're talking about how the design craftsmanship have reached iPhone levels, which they are very proud of.
非常高的评价啊！还有人觉得光这么说都不够，哎，他是这么说的，我们来看一看啊。我只画了2个重点，对吧？
So this seems to be
什么意思呢？第一个重点把我们品明白了。
testimony from a Xiaomi fan.
手感和体验，这是多年积累的结果，不是一。
So this is something that they only managed to achieve after years of trial and error and experience.
我们手感更好，所以啊，从这以后我们就发现大家开始玩梗啊，有一个梗不知道大家见没见过，是这个，看到了吗？大家都在网上说“识时务者为俊杰”，哇，这个梗真的到处都是。我觉得这代网友也太厉害了吧，这都不知道怎么想的。
So this is from an online user apparently.
是对我们非常非常高的评价，谢谢各位，谢谢各位俊杰啊，感谢大家。
So a lot of self-praise, own self-praise, praise on self on the design and craftsmanship. Okay, maybe the Indian food is good, but I don't really think the design is rather mid though. So this is the Xiaomi 15 Pro design. 15 Pro the design review. Xiaomi, they're asking you if do you like the look of the Xiaomi 15 Pro. Silver color. I think a very special finish on the back. Then yeah, it looks special effects when you tilt it across angles. 3D glass with varying forms of thickness to achieve this effect, and it's very hard to achieve with this design. A very glossy side frame. So they are. So I think they are not. They are not using stainless steel, but probably using titanium, if I'm not wrong, or aluminium. I'm not too sure. Again, I don't really like glossy frames and glossy backs. But again, this is a very subjective and personal thing. So you'll be the ultimate arbitrator. And 99% of people are going to put the phone in the case, so it doesn't really matter anyway. I need to see hands-on before I can judge whether or not it looks good or not. So they're now talking about Xiaomi 15 display. Okay, talking about the narrow bezels on all 4 sides. Android thinner side bezels at 1.38 millimeters. So compared to the iPhone 16 Pro, it's actually even thinner than the iPhone 16 Pro at 1.44 millimeters. Xiaomi has beaten it in terms of bezel size. And the chin is the most important and most difficult part to achieve a narrow bezel look. So this is their development of narrow bezel starting in 2016. Xiaomi Mix, which was the first phone outside Japan to really start the narrow bezel trend craze. And then this is the Mi Note 10 just now. That one with the water drop notch. Mi Note 10 outside China. And how they have managed to reduce the chin size from minus 7.72 mm to reduce it to minus 0.43 millimeters from the original Mi Mix. So this is how they bend the screen to achieve the narrow bezel look. And the difficulties behind doing it. So this is the protective layer that they use to protect the screen that is being bent to achieve this narrow bezel look.
这样做的好处是能让边框的窄度提升了20%。这个原理其实特别简单，一点都不复杂，但是它的难度是什么？难度是想要做到我们这么极致的效果，行业没有任何成熟的解决方案。但是该说不说啊，我们的工程师团队真的非常厉害。
So they are praising the work of the display engineers.
咱们从整个的结构工艺到封装技术，再到屏幕的封装材料，再到所有的产线，我们全自研。这个我重点。
So this is all being self-researched and innovated.
整个的封装材料，这个参数我不读了，它核心是说，首先这个材料要足够的硬，才能保护你的屏幕，让它不怕冲击。
So they are talking about what kind of the properties of the protective glass they are using for the Xiaomi 15. Again, they claim that this is self-developed, this protective properties of glass.
这么好的效果，它对加工精度的要求就特别的高，所以我们这次整体的工艺精度达到了史无前例的0.001毫米，这在整个屏幕产线里面都是非常罕有的。
So this apparently the display engineering they have tolerances of as low as 0.001 millimeters.
这背后的投入真的是巨大的。我们的工程师团队历经20个月，有
20 months to research this narrow bezel look.
3条50米的全自动产线，这背后的投入是巨大的。但是这就是我们追求极致的决心和勇气。我觉得我们屏幕工程团队。
So this is talking about the numbers to express the effort that they use to get down this narrow bezel, make this narrow bezel look possible.
显示效果，我们这次也应用了非常先进的屏幕发光材料，这是我们独家定制的 M9， 它能够做到。
So this is the M9 OLED panel. So this is probably a Samsung OLED if I'm not wrong, and it can achieve up to 3,200 nits of brightness. They're basically saying that even though other companies are having higher numbers in paper, in reality these numbers are bluffing because they only really get in use when it comes to HDR videos and only occupy about a fraction of the display size. So don't be fooled by these 4,500 nits, 5,000 nits numbers because they only really apply when you're watching HDR video and they only apply to a fraction of the screen so that they don't otherwise spoil the screen. So this 3,400 nits is actually when it's used when it actually uses the bigger surface area at the very least when compared to the 4,500, 5,000 nits. So this is the real life application of brightness.
对吧？就是一眼好，所以呢，我也不是很针对友商，就是这样的表述方式啊，我们以前其实也干过，但是自从雷总要求我们体验优先。 这样的数字游戏我们就不再玩了。我们真的是。
So they're basically popping out of the brightness game and trying to achieve something that is much more practical in Xiaomi's own words.
阳光屏，它是一块超级阳光屏。
A super bright screen.
它有极窄的4等边 ，M9的发光材料，超级阳光屏。其他的参数也都很。
HDR10, HDR10 Plus, Dolby Vision, HDR Vivid.
全亮度的 DC 调光。
So DC dimming for all brightness levels. So it can protect your eyes apparently. And this is Xiaomi's own protective glass called Longxing glass. So probably Corning is probably sweating right now because they know that all these big Chinese firms, they're all going to switch their own version of Chinese glass. You know that. They're talking about how difficult it is to develop your own proprietary glass. So basically 10 times the protection from previous generation Xiaomi glass. Or conventional smartphone glass if I'm not wrong. So this is the ultrasonic fingerprint sensor. And they talk about how the fingerprint sensor is very fast and very responsive. And the position is just placed just right. Even at night, using this ultrasonic fingerprint sensors won't suddenly blast your eyes with so much bright light. And it will work even when your hands are dirty. And these ultrasonic fingerprint sensors are not cheap, so that's why very few people have adopted this in full.
所以小米15是首个也是唯一一个搭载超声波指纹的小尺寸旗舰。
So Xiaomi 15 is the only compact phone to use this very advanced ultrasonic fingerprint sensor.
总结一下这块屏幕啊，这块屏幕真的是很
So this is a summary of the
非常极致的屏幕，极展
screen experience of the Xiaomi 15. Narrow bezels, super bright M9 screen, ultrasonic fingerprint sensor, and Xiaomi Longjing protective glass. Although I trusted that they didn't compare it directly with Corning Gorilla Glass, that is the industrial standard. Okay, performance.
最新一代的高通骁龙平台，这个平台用高通
Xiaomi, the Snapdragon
这一次划时代的升级。
Gen Snapdragon 8 Elite.
老师怎么看？媒体老师纷纷响应，表示
So they're talking about all the media, how hyped they are for the Snapdragon 8 Elite.
特别有意思。这是一条高通骁龙平台和
How it can even outperform the A18 Pro inside the iPhone 16
前几年特别
Pro Max.
互有胜负，中间被人家甩开。
How basically how
反击完成了超越，
Snapdragon has finally managed to surpass Apple in terms of
非常励志。
performance. Although, honestly speaking, you cannot cross-compare Android and iOS benchmark results directly, so take this with a bit of grain of salt.
骁龙8至尊版，
So we are talking about the name change. The performance is so revolutionary that they're calling it Elite.
新名啊。
Yeah, I will probably get an Android as my next phone, but not so soon.
平台，首先呢，它应用了第二代3纳
So
制程，
it's using a 3nm second gen 3nm process.
更重要的是
All the best for getting your refund.
重构了。
And then they're talking about the custom-made Orion CPU that they acquired when they acquired Nuvia back in 2021. So this is custom, not based on the Cortex reference design.
哎，这里咱们要说一下，为什么
So they are not using efficiency cores for this
当你的手机
CPU at all, just using 2 prime cores and 6-bit cores, no more efficiency cores.
微信视频通话，或者一边玩游戏一边直播。
All the best, maybe you can... I'll take a look at how the case looks like later after this live stream, okay?
其他的核，那就会出现小马拉大车，所以它的功耗马上就上去了。那双超大核的好处呢，就能获得最好的功耗表现。所以高通和苹果共同走到了这里，英雄。
So they are basically comparing how their design is very similar to Apple, that they are not using efficiency cores anymore.
这个差异是为什么？因为安卓是真的多后台，所以6个大核是有更好的表现。那除了这个之外啊，这次的微架构也进行了全面重构，这是一个桌面级的 CPU。我们来看
So they are using the second generation Orion cores compared to the PCX Elite's first generation cores.
代的 Orion，而且它的制程更强，制程更新，
So these cores are actually more powerful than the first gen cores used in the X Elite.
搭载了24兆的缓存，所以它整个的
24 megabytes of level L2 cake, and it can achieve a top clock speed of 4.32 gigahertz.
我们再看一看跟自己和跟别人比，好，比自己的上
So compared to the 8 Gen 3, it has an improvement of CPU scores of 45%.
不要小看45%啊，以往每次提个10%就了不得了，这真的是2到3代的提升，一把完成。
So it's basically they claim that this is a 2 to 3 generations jump.
A18 Pro 比一比，就跟刚才
So compared to the A18 Pro,
它领先了将近
it's actually better than A18 Pro CPU performance by 18%. Compared to the Apple M2 desktop process SoC is even faster by 7.8% in terms of CPU. Now the GPU, the Adreno 830, if I'm not wrong,
还有 DM2 都
it
很
beats the A Gen 3 by 44%, A18 Pro by 78%, and Apple M2 by 16%.
CPU 和 GPU 的性能强，这次的功耗也特别的好。你看
And efficiency has improved by 52%
的功耗降低了
compared to Snapdragon 8 Gen 3.
50%左右的水平，性能又强，功耗又低，就会带来非常好的体验和表现。
So it improved efficiency for the GPU.
算力达到了
NPU has also seen improvements,
苹果的 SoC 的综合算力，
and it beats the versions inside Apple's SoC, which is important for AI applications.
简直不用再总结了。
So this is a summary of the 8 Elite.
GPU 桌面级的 GPU， 桌面级的 NPU， 这真的是骁龙划时代之作，这是一个革命性的开始。
So this is a revolutionary start for Snapdragon 8 Elite.
平台重构它不是一蹴而就的 3年前就启动了技术洞察，我们在这个过程中也深度的参与了。所以在
So they're talking about how they how Xiaomi helps Qualcomm to research for this new SoC since 2022, and how they were directly involved in fine-tuning the 8 Elite for Xiaomi HyperCore to improve the responsiveness of the software. And it has this is their new vapor chamber design, a very big size, obviously. And this cooling system is better than iPhone 16 Pro. So from cold start. So compared to the iPhone 16 Pro, the X200 Mini and Oppo Find X8, which we saw the keynote previously, the bronze color is what you should be looking at. The lower the time, the better from a cold start to launch the game. So Xiaomi 15 beats the iPhone 16 Pro in terms of frames per second and has a lower temperature when running this game called MOBA.
所以数我就不读了啊，但是你看单帧功耗低6%，温度低4.5度，这就是很惊人的表现。我们再看一看大型开放世界手游，对吧？我们的平均帧率更高，大型3D 回合制手游，哎，我们的单帧功耗和温度表现也非常非常的好。
Another benchmark where Xiaomi 15 smokes the 16 Pro. So Xiaomi HyperCore optimization, Snapdragon 8 Elite, as well as a vapor chamber system will deliver the best performance. And now they are talking about battery for the Xiaomi 15 series. 5,400 mAh in the breaking the 5,000 mAh barrier. Compared to the previous generation, is a jump of nearly 800 mAh, or about the size of a typical feature phone battery. Compared to the 14 Pro, is even bigger than the 15, even bigger than the 14 Pro, even though the 14 Pro itself is noticeably bigger.
哇，这真是僭越了啊！这是僭越式发展，有点过分啊。所以这次在非常小的机身上面，我们放下了巨大的电池，它也带来了极为优秀的续航表现。我们也比
And so the battery life can
模拟了一个用户非常重载的使用场景，你会发现
using heavy loads, right? So they claim that the Xiaomi 15 can beat the iPhone by 2 hours. So compared to all the relatively compact phones, this one can last the longest. The benchmarks compared to big phones, it holds its own quite well relative to the bigger phones. Number 6. So you don't need to worry about battery life for a compact phone. 90 watts wired charging, 50 watts wireless charging using their proprietary G1 and P3 power management chips.
这次啊，我们整体的续航表现非常非常的优秀。那说到无线充呢，还有一个话题大家特别感兴趣，就是磁吸无线充，是吧
？MagSafe style wireless charging, although I don't know whether this actually means C2 wireless charging. I don't know.
这种微接触式的体验大家都很馋，但是你知道啊，磁吸会导致什么呢？因为里面加了磁铁，它会影响电池的容量。
So she's explaining how MagSafe works.
我们的产品经理和设计师有了一个非常有趣的想法，他们做了一个保护壳
，protective case.
磁吸保护壳，哎，你就可以享受磁吸无线充了。但如果你特别注重手感，那你就把它摘掉。所以咱什么都没有损失啊！我觉得这真是一个天才般的想法，也不知道是谁想出来的。所以我们为大家准备了什么呢？我们为
These are their MagSafe accessories, including a MagSafe case, MagSafe wireless charger, and MagSafe fan cooler. And you can even use it with iPhones as well. So this is probably T2, but they just don't mention it directly for some reason. If they are talking about compatibility with iPhones.
那接下来呢，我们聊一聊影像。
Now they are talking about photography.
大家都能感受到，从小米13的忘情一刻到小米14的不负此刻，我们都在追求如何让大家在这样小。
So they are now touting their collaboration with Leica.
我们有自己的答案。 在光学系统里面，我们要坚持精密化、小型化，用旗舰的系统做到最好的光学表现。在计算摄影领域，我们要坚定的使用 AI
like tuning hardware as well as software, compute and computing, smart computational photography as well. So this is their Leica Lumilux lens system, a new generation.
滤光片的设计里面都极为的精妙。更重要的是啊，这次我们升级了全新的 LD 超透镀膜，能大幅提升逆光的纯净度，所以让它获得更好的光学素质。那这次呢，我们为它配备了3颗徕卡。
So this is the camera set on the Xiaomi 15, a 50 megapixel ultra wide, 50 megapixel main sensor with lossless 2x zoom, 50 megapixel telephoto that can do 2.6 times and achieve 5 times hybrid lossless zoom. So they are showing you a sample from the ultra wide camera, how they can freeze the moving photo quite well. I think imagine try doing it with a Samsung with shutter lag. 1 times main camera sample, 2.6 times telephoto sample, 5 times hybrid zoom from the periscope from the zoom camera, and 10 centimeter macro.
当然啊，这么好的表现也不光是因为光学素质，还有我们的计算摄影，我们的小米 AISP 也升级到了2.0。
Xiaomi ISP, I think they're talking about their ISP optimization. Using AI to improve their ISP, using large language models to improve the camera processing.
能够每秒处理43亿像素，并且因为整个模型算法的提升，所以我们的速度。
So the speed of processing has also increased as well.
这个就能带来复杂场景一瞬传神。
So complicated photography can be complicated situations can be handled easily. So they are comparing this complicated night shot of the iPhone 16 Pro. They are comparing to the Xiaomi 15. And yeah, you can compare the details of the flowers.
纤毫毕现，光感也特别的棒，这就是它优秀的拍照表现。当然，其实拍静物并不难，对吗？因为人的眼睛对于静物的敏感度一般。什么最难拍？人最难拍。
People are the hardest to take. And how people can be very picky about photographs of themselves.
所以我们在14 Ultra 发布的大师人像这次也有了升级，我们的人像大模型升级到了2.0，所以整体无论
So something about their portrait AI models being upgraded to version 2.0.
你看这张长焦人像在夜
Using the telephoto to take a portrait in low light. So compare the skin tones from the 16 Pro to the Xiaomi 15. So give a very natural and very nice look for the woman. And an even more complicated photo setting, you can see that the face of the woman is too much red, whereas this one it still keeps the natural skin tone. Another one is a portrait in facing directly to the sun. So the 16 Pro looks artificial compared to the one on the Xiaomi 15.
所以基于这么强的光学素质和计算摄影能力，我们就能带来一个大家超级喜欢的场景，叫做黄金落日人像。
So something about taking portraits in sunset.
感受一下，你看这一张，你会发现夕阳勾勒出金。
So how the sunset it basically beautifies the hair. Here another sunshine sample portrait shot.
那再看这一张，他拍出了小红书上现在非常出名的叫
破
碎感。什么叫破碎感？就是内心
Trying to cheer up a particular star that is very popular on the Chinese Instagram that is called the Red Book.
一瞬传神，有没有？当然啊，除了拍照的能力增强，我们这次动态照片分享的能力也大大提
So
升了。
improving the ability to share live photos that is supported on Douyin, Little Red Book and Weibo, which are the 3 main social networks in China. Xiaohongshu is basically the Chinese Instagram. Douyin is basically the Chinese TikTok. and Weibo is basically the Chinese Twitter. And obviously, they recommend they use all these for their live wallpapers, linking back to their HyperOS segment, using all these as okay. So this summarizes the Xiaomi 15 system. 5 lenses in one, which 5 lenses in 3, which is again copying from Apple's way of marketing. And you can shoot at 8K 30 frames per second. And the Super Xiao can help you in taking photos, editing photos, and sharing photos. So a summary of all the Xiaomi 15 features and specs. So everybody's gonna take a screenshot and post it on the Twitter right now. Twitter. I don't have the time to do so because I am still translating it on the go. Okay, another summary slide. In-hand view, Leica photography. Third is battery innovations, and fourth is the other hardware experience like ultrasonic fingerprint sensor, Longxing proprietary protective glass, as well as IP68 rating for yeah. So it's all they didn't keep out of the blue, but it came from years of development of their flagship. So every generation they are increasing the innovations and improvements. So they are admitting that iPhone is the industry standard, and now they have the courage to fight and compete against the iPhone directly. So comparing against the iPhone 16 Pro, beating the iPhone in terms of thinness, weight, battery charging speed, performance and heat management, and photo performance. And now they're competing against in terms of price. 128 GB starting point. No, really? Still doing that in 2024? I don't buy that. Don't buy 128 GB iPhone 16 Pros, please. At least do 256 GB minimum. So they are talking about how expensive the 16 Pro is. So they are promising that you won't see so high prices for Xiaomi phones. So compared to the older Xiaomi 14, there are obviously the improvements, especially in the display, the battery, and the cameras. So they are now comparing the prices for last year's Xiaomi 14 to the current Xiaomi 15. So the base model is going to have 12 GB plus 256 GB, which is probably meant for the AI to function properly. So they're admitting that this year is all the components to make a smartphone have increased quite significantly in terms of price. So talking about how how in the name of cost cutting, some of the other brands they also cut down their component quality as well. And the Snapdragon is more expensive than the equivalent Dimensity flagship chip.
大家一眼 crush 的这个外观和手感，美是值钱的，但是美真的也挺费钱的。所以我们这小米15啊，如果咱从成本的角度来讲，涨500都打不住。但是我也知道，如果我下一页翻出来4799，可能就被拉出去祭天了啊。所以我们特别坚定地说，哪怕我们困难再大，我们也就对齐行业平均涨幅，咱们也只涨300，可以吗？只涨300是个什么概念？只涨300其实就是恢复到了我们小米13同版本的价格。
So the prices are technically not unchanging from the Xiaomi 14 to 15 when you consider that the base model starts from 4,299 yuan.
所以这次我们小米15的定价就是4499。
Not true. So the price they only increased by about 200 yuan compared to the same RAM and same ROM from last year's model.
我们一定要用我们最大的诚意，要用超出行业的诚意，给大家一个超预期的小米15。所以我们最终的定价4499。
So they're basically trying to justify the slight price increase. Hopefully it'll be worth it in the end. Hopefully it'll be worth it in the end. So for SKU, starting from 4499 for 12 plus 256, 4799 for double the storage, 4999 for 512GB and 16GB of RAM, and 5499 is the 16GB plus 1TB variant. So pre-orders, you can pre-order it now, but the regular sales will start from in 2 days time. And freebies worth 1,396 yuan when you pre-order, including some replacement insurance. These services worth some software perks and service perks. Okay, now the 15 Pro. The 15, oh, this is the Xiaomi 15, not the Pro, sorry. So we're talking about how difficult it is to make the back panel because only about 10 to 20 out of 10,000 can actually be used. So this special silver edition will be more expensive than the other versions by about 200 yuan. So if you opt for this special silver edition, it will cost you additional 200 yuan on top of the price. And this is the cases, the official cases for Xiaomi 15 series. Another edition of Xiaomi 15. 20. Wow! You can 20 colors. You can choose your back cover. Customize the phone frame. Is this Moto X 2013 all over again? You tell me. This is so similar to Moto X 2013. Look at that. We have Moto X came back. Look at all this. This is Moto Maker 2013 again. Moto X 2013. Moto X 2013, it also had the same sort of customization you could do with the phone in the United States at least. Yeah, they're talking about customer feedback on how they like to have customization, they like the best color. Look at this is Moto X customization revived. This is the surprise. Wow. Look at this. Wow. Wow. Wow.
太能接受这么明快鲜艳的颜色，不用担心。
I hope that this comes outside China, you know.
墨蓝
This is wonderful. Absolutely wonderful.
奶油蓝、薰衣草紫
This is a pleasant
这个颜色
surprise.
组合在一起呢，
I didn't expect.
20个颜色，40
So 20 colors, 2 frame choices. Total maker,
行业
you are back at last.
因为它无论是供应链还是交付还是销售都非常非常的麻烦，但是我们也希望能够给独特的你一部独特的小米服务。我们想跟大家一起试试看，大家愿意支持我们吗？那这个版本怎么定价呢？因为它真的难度很高啊。
So they are talking about how difficult it is.
加价
So the price is, so for this you only get a single SKU of 16 plus 512 GB at 4999.
而且因为它很复杂，大家要去选购，要去搭配，对吗？所以只能到小米商城购买。
So you can only buy it at certain Xiaomi stores.
哎，我觉得这个要赶紧抢啊！这个手一慢就没有了啊！大家赶紧抢。那接下来还有一个特别版本，我们要不然先看条视频。
Another edition again? Wow,
好看吗？
they're repumping out the editions.
这就是非常好看啊！
This looks like alligator skin.
15的钻石限定版，是不是？
Limited edition diamond
这
version.
样的。来，我们再仔细看一下啊。首先我们看一下它的相机 deco 里面星光闪耀，真的非常漂亮。
The camera island has
啊，极
either diamonds or crystals being built inside.
鳄鱼皮的纹理。
Alligator leather skin used for the back cover.
又奢华的感觉。更重要的是，我们在机身的边框镶嵌了一颗钻石。
A diamond on the side frame,
我当时看到特别不理解，
on the left side frame.
我们怎么会做一个在边框镶嵌钻石的手机呢？你是怎么想的？他说：“我听过一个钻戒的故事，我非常被打动。这个钻戒是把
Wow.
钻石嵌在了戒指的背面，钻石镶嵌的位置刚好对着手心，所以寓意就是把爱攥在手心。
It's basically giving an answer to why they made this limited edition Xiaomi 15.
每当你拿着它的时候，你就感觉把爱攥在手心。” 他说：“我觉得这个非常适合做成礼品，无论是送给自己，还是送给自己最爱的人，它都是一份非常非常温暖的礼品。所以呢，我们为大家准备了3个颜色：冰川白。
And this special edition comes in 3 different editions, 3 different colors.
一个非
Wow.
常张扬而充满活力的橙色。3个颜色，好看吗？
Gray, white, orange.
哎，
Wow, imagine that.
现在啊，其实大家特别注重环保和可持续发展，所以我们在做这个的时候也特别注重啊。大家可以看到这个应该叫做科纳鳄鱼皮，它是一个非常环保的鳄鱼皮纹。
They are talking about how sustainable this crocodile leather is being
它的触感和
obtained.
是极其
So the intensity of this crocodile leather is supposed to be very good.
培育钻石也非常非常的环保啊。所以
And another sustainably sourced diamond.
又非常的环保。我们还为它做了一个礼盒，这个礼盒里面有2个非常讨人喜欢
And the inbox contains include a leather
还有一个
wallet made of the same crocodile leather and another passport and card holder.
小米15钻石限定版，这个版本就真的有点贵了，对吧？
Yeah, I expect to be at least 6,000 yuan onwards.
我们的售价是5999。
Whoa, I got it correct, and they give you the top spec 16 GB plus 1 terabyte. Not too bad, 6,000 yuan.
1T 的版本，所以它其实只贵了500块钱。所以我觉得啊，这个版本马上就会抢疯了，大家一会儿一定要抓紧时间，好吗？
Well, they are basically telling you that they are not going to make a lot of variants. So see all these variants they are making: standard,
所以
automaker,
15不但是
alligator skin,
非常极致的小尺寸，
special silver edition. Oh my, look at all those editions Xiaomi is making. It's so crazy right now. My head is exploding. My head is spinning. I can't believe that.
舞台交给卢总带来实力超强的 Pro，谢谢大家。
This is the 5. Okay, now Lei Jun is back on the stage. She's talking about the 15 Pro. My goodness. 很棒 very good.
15这么棒啊 ，Pro 的话怎么能处处体现 Pro 呢？但请大家放心 ，Pro 一定会非常的 Pro。
Pro will be very pro. That's what he's talking about.
先看一下设计啊，15和15 Pro 呢，秉承了相同的设计原则、设计理念以及设计元素。一块6.73寸的屏
So 6.73 OLED. If you see carefully, you can see the micro quad curve.
直屏的手感和曲屏的美感。
So they are trying to combine the best aspects of flat and curved screens.
特别想介绍的就是这个一体的陶瓷 deco。这次相机的 deco
Something about the camera island, how the curves are being chamfered in a certain way.
并且这次我们相机的配置做大幅度提升，但是高度
The thickness of the camera island has been reduced by minus 0.5 millimeters.
衔接也特别的自然。大屏旗舰手机，大家特别担心的是什么？是手感，担心它。
So they are talking about the in-hand feel of big smartphones.
轻啊，那这一次我们小米15 Pro 呢，解决了这些问题。
Again, the same design principles used with the Xiaomi 15, including the weight distribution.
有特别高级的岩石灰，
So three rather mid-looking colors and one interesting one.
亮银。
The same shiny silver version
15 Pro 的设计
that's also available for the regular 15.
特别有精致感，也特别有手感。下面呢，给大家介绍的就是屏幕部分。
Okay, now they're talking about the screen,
参数呢都
a 2K screen.
可以说是今天已经量产的两块屏里面参数最紧的。所以细节呢，我就不讲，讲几个要点。第一，
Actually, this is actually a Quad HD screen, so it's a bit better than 2K.
本身的微曲屏，在去年的小米14 Pro 呢，
So
这样的屏幕
they're talking about the properties of the quad micro curved screen.
大家看一个参数，就是这个懂深弯曲的深度。到今天为止，我们的深度呢还是最深的。深度代表了什么？深度代表了技术的难度和工艺的难度。当然，这次我们也对下巴做了共展。
And
上一代
they managed to reduce the chin from 2.08 millimeters in the past 14 Pro to 1.95 millimeters for the 15 Pro.
其实都是非常难的，并且呢，我们的 Pro 也搭载了超声波指纹。
And also the ultrasonic fingerprint sensor.
Pro 升级为小米棱镜玻璃2.0。
And they're using Xiaomi Longjing 2.0 glass
呢，跟
with 16
它的抗摔性呢
times
16倍。
16 times tougher than conventional smartphone glass.
摔下来之后维修的成本特别高，所以我们特意用了棱镜玻璃的2.0，并且呢，它是一个立体双扬声器，所以呢，这块屏幕呢是一个视觉、听觉
Dual stereo speakers.
的两块屏。但是大家我相信呢，也发现了一个现象，在2、3年前，其实我们每一家做 Pro 的旗舰手机用的都是2块屏，但是这2年呢，大家都回退到了1.5块屏，所以小米15 Pro 是
So they are talking about
Pro 档里面唯一的一块2块屏。
the only Pro phone to have a true Quad HD screen.
确实是2块屏呢，比1.5块屏特别贵，但是还有另外一个原因啊，就是它的功耗。2块屏呢，的确会比1.5块屏的功耗要高。
2K screen's energy consumption is
功耗的把握，
quite significantly more than 1.5K.
但是这一次呢
So the difficulty comes in optimizing energy consumption.
Pro 的2块屏幕比上一代一共下降了24%。
So they managed to reduce the energy consumption of this Quad HD screen by 24% compared to the previous generation, which used a 1.5 screen, if I'm not wrong.
带来的结果是什么？就是2块的屏幕1.5块的功耗。可以说，小米15
So improving the screen resolution while reducing power consumption of the screen.
为什么我们小米能够做到？是因为在过去的几年里面，我们加大了对屏幕技术的投入，几乎我们做端到端的技术的研发，包括屏幕的发光材料、关键的设备、关键的工艺以及驱动的芯片。大家可以看到，我们这一次呢，
Again, using the same M9 OLED tech as the
功耗
Xiaomi 15. This probably mixes a Samsung OLED display if I'm not wrong.
功耗呢又降了3%。它的双微腔呢做一个解释，这个技术其实特别的复杂，我呢也花了很长的时间才把它搞明白。我简单用语言来讲，在我们的屏幕的发光结构当中，有阴极和阳极，在阴极和阳极之间呢，有一层叫腔体。那么这个
I have no idea what no mumble jargon they are talking about in Chinese. I'm sorry.
我们可以简单把这个腔体当做一个什么叫光线的放大器，经过它之后呢，可以有效的提高发光的材料。所以呢，如果我们去设2个腔体的话，就等于是有2次的光线的放大。但是要做到这一点，就要找到一种特别低折射的材料，叫 CPL 材料。这个材料其实行业呢也找了很久。在这一次我们
Not sure what they are really talking about though.
我们小米呢，通过 AI 仿真的技术，对10万种的材料做了配方的研究，最后选出了50种，做了反复的试验，我们就找到现在这个材料，就叫小米超低折射的微腔材料。有了这个材料之后呢
I think they are talking about a certain kind of material that they use for the M9 display.
把我们的功耗呢再降5%。除了这个之外，其实我们在这个屏幕里面还存了非常多的其他的降功耗的技术，例如这个 FRA 的屏幕内的走线技术。这个技术呢，去年我在讲小米14 Pro 的时候讲过，我就不再讲。但它也让我们的面板的功耗又降了3%。还有，我们把驱动电压呢降到6.3伏。大家可以看到，其他的有偿采用的都是7伏至7伏以上，它可以降低我们驱动芯片的功耗。还有，我们采用了3段式的硬件级的屏幕刷新率，也就是说，我们根据屏幕里面显示的分区的不同的内容，给它分配一个刷新率，可以说叫按序来分配功耗，所以又把我们的芯片的功耗呢又降了5%。所以，经过所有的这样一些措施，让我们小米15 Pro 的屏幕比上一代降了24%，也让我们2开屏幕做到了1.5开屏幕的功耗。
Well, this is all just a technical explanation on how they're able to improve power efficiency for increasing the screen resolution.
那么前2周，我们行业的友商呢也发了一些他们的旗舰手机，那么他们的 Pro 呢都是1.5开屏幕，我们也想看一下说他们的1.5开屏幕的功耗呢到底是多少？大家看一下。友商 A 呢是590。
So this is the amount of power that these 1.5K screens are using.
可以猜一下，我们2开屏幕的功耗会是多少？你可以猜一下吗？好，给大家看一
So
下。
I'm asking you to guess how much power the Xiaomi 15 Pro screen consumes in comparison, and it's lower than the 1.5K screens of the competitors.
2开屏幕的功耗比友商的1.5开屏幕的功耗还要低。当然，友商 A 和友商 B 呢，大家可以猜一下哪一个是友商 A， 哪一个是友商 B。
Asking you to guess what is the brand that they are talking about, comparing to. He's teasing us again, telling us, do you want to know what they are?
高定一些啊。
So he's not really going to reveal it on stage as standard practice.
当然呢，在座的还有很多媒体的老师啊，你们也可以回去测一下，真的看一下我们2开屏幕的非常强的低功耗啊。当然，它也是一块3200尼特的阳光屏，具有全天候的全屏息屏的这样一个显示，这就是一块全面拉满的2开屏幕，也可以说是今天已经发布的手机里面最好的一块2开的屏幕。
So the best Quad HD screen ever put in a smartphone.
下面我想给大家介绍另外一个特别强的技术，就是小米金沙江电池。今年呢，大家都在卷电池。
So their own brand name for silicon carbide batteries.
我们先看结果啊，小米15 Pro 搭载的电池容量是6100毫安时。
6,100 mAh battery inside the Xiaomi 15 Pro.
是所有家里面 Pro 档最大的电池容量，它比上一代整多了1200。
Improving from the previous generation by
前呢
12-20 mAh.
也都会增加电池容量，一般都增加个100、200、300，但这一次我们整增加1220啊，非常大的升级。为什么我们能够做到？是因为我们能够把电池容量密度做了850瓦时每升。那么
So increasing the energy density of the battery is the main reason why they're able to increase the mAh.
是我们电池底层技术能力的一个真实的映射，也更是我们电池技术罕见的一个 关键的指标。那我们做的这一点，是因为我们小米金沙电池今年我们做了材料和工艺的全面的突破。我们先看一下材料。
A breakthrough in battery chemistry composition.
有正极、有负极和键钾液，所以锂离子呢在键钾液里面流。
Anode, cathode, and something something.
先看一下正极。这一次呢，我们的电压做了4。
So the voltage of the battery has gone up to 4.53 volts.
的极限电压，它可以帮助我们的能量密度呢提高1.7%。我们再看一下负极。负极里面我们做了6%的硅含量，也就是在石墨里面加硅，形成硅碳离子。这样的一些硅碳离子之间呢，它去做导键，所以我们创新的引入一个材料，叫2到5纳米的碳纳米管。
2 to 5 millimeter materials inside.
又可以提高2.5%，并且我们还做了一个稠缓类的添加剂。这个添加剂加入之后呢，又把我们循环的稳定性呢提高了14%。那么我们再看一下工艺啊，我们采用了第3代的高密集片的工艺。这个工艺呢，可以让我们正极提高6.3%，负极提高4.4%，键钾液的动力的性能呢提高25%。所以说，这就是我们小米金沙电池今年在技术方面的一些突破。它做到了850瓦时的每升的容量密度，以及6100韩时大电量。可以说，今年大家拼电池啊，那么最后可以说，电池技术哪家强，还看我们家金沙江。
Yes. So what you have seen just now is the technical explanation of how they are able to increase the battery capacity by improving the materials used.
在石粒末里面添加硅。
So this is a graph showing how they've improved the battery density over the years.
在过去的5年里面，我们经历了7代，但是在过去的每一代呢，它只增加20到30。但这一次呢，我们一次性
So 14 to so from the previous gen to the gen has been the biggest gen on gen leap. In other words.
好，我们先看一下榜。
So they are giving you some practical battery life test.
行业第一的啊。在这个榜，我希望大家还是有一个提示，我们是2开的屏幕。
And 6 hours of heavy usage. You can see that the Xiaomi 15 Pro and the Oppo Find X8 Pro, they all can maintain a quarter of their battery even after such heavy use. Whereas,
依然是行业第一。
and you can use all the way to 0% up to 8.45 hours of intense usage.
证明我们2开屏幕的极功耗。除了电池的容量大之外呢，其实电池管理系统也非常的重要。
And they're talking about the power management system of the batteries using their G1 and P3
让我们的电池供
chips.
所以这一次我们搭载了小米自研的 G1的电源管理芯片以及 P3的充电芯片，它做到了让我们的电池做到1600次的循环，还可以有80%的电量保持率，差不多5000毫安时，并且呢在负20度，也就是说，当我们冬天在户外滑雪的时候，长时间
And the battery can even still function normally at minus 20 degrees Celsius.
电池的容量呢有
And it will maintain a 80% of battery cycle at the very minimum even after 1.6K cycles.
瓦的无线秒充。
90 watts wired and 50 watts wireless.
可能又会有另外一个担心说，电量特别大，你的手机会不会又厚又重呢？
They're asking you whether or not the big battery will lead to the phone becoming too heavy.
上一代相比，重量
But it's not the case because compared to the previous generations, they have reduced the weight and made it thinner as well, which is very impressive given the improvements in battery capacity as well.
上一代小米14 Pro 更加的轻，更加的薄，并且有非常好的手感。那为什么我们又能做到这一点呢？是因为我们这一次我们采用了航空级的拓扑优化。拓扑优化呢，就是在保证我们架构稳定性和坚固性的情况下，尽可能的减少材料的使用，让它变得轻量化。这一次呢
So they are reducing cutting down the amount of unnecessary materials used inside the phone
结构的性能，重塑了边框的架构。
and making it more precise. The internal skeletal frame.
中框对中板、对四角、对带靠的四角全部做针对性的设计，让它的强度更强，然后重量更轻。所以
Making it stronger and thick and lighter at the same time.
我们的重量
So they have managed to lighten it not just by 10 grams but made it tougher compared to the previous generation by 37%.
来看一下，
So this is a video showing how tough the Xiaomi 15 Pro is. Bending the phone. Bend test. Oh, that's a very intricate bend test if I've seen any. Look at that.
哇哇哇！这是非常不可思议的强度啊！一个成年人加一把椅子，这个力量压下去之后，我们小米15 Pro 呢，应该说只有微微的弯曲，这个压力消失之后呢，它就恢复如初。这就是我们打造的轻盈手感、坚固机身的小米15 Pro。下面呢，我们再聊一下通信啊。
Talking about communications now.
引起行业特别大的震动，就是这个榜单，这是5G 标准专利的全球榜单。
I think this is talking about. So Xiaomi is in number 8 out of 10 in terms of 5G developments. If I'm translating it correctly.
里面有6家是通信设备厂家，有1名是芯片厂家，纯终端厂家其实只有我们小米一家公司，苹果公司不在前10名之列。所以经过这个榜单，我想大家也能够感受得到这几年我们在通信技术里面的投入。所以今天呢，我们带来的是小米。
So they are number 3 in terms of China in terms of 5G development. And now they are launching Xiaomi satellite communication.
我们的目标要打造最强的通信体验。
To create the world's strongest communication. Using a special developed proprietary chip for communications, a special antenna design.
还搭载了小米史上最豪华的高性能切线组，一共有4个基频切线和6个中高频切线。线多的话，它最大的好处是什么？可以接收到来自4面8方的信号，没有信号的。
And you can accept antennas, incoming signals from 4 directions.
握到手机之后，根据你的握姿和你的信号的强度来智能选择一个信号最好的牵线。
And you can use AI to determine which is the smartest antenna to really prioritize. And it will be very useful even in underground places. And reduce latency and blah blah blah.
自动去识别，然后预加在你的内容，来保证体验的流畅。包括你从楼宇里面走到街上去之后，让你的 WiFi 信号跟蜂窝信号之间的切换没有任何的感觉。我们呢选择了北京地铁。
So they are using the Beijing subway as a test for their connectivity.
所以这一次呢，我们选了10条线路，东西南北各选了2条，包括2条机场线，这都是人流量最大的10条线路。当然呢
So how the phone can maintain good connectivity even when there is a lot of users at the same place using the telecommunications hub?
这个我们赢了之后呢，也胜之不武啊。所以我们也同时选了另外一部手机，行业标杆 Mate 60 Pro。我们通过一个视频呢来看一下。
So this is testing the connectivity stability of these three phones, the 15 Pro, the 16 Pro Max, and the Mix 60 Pro in the Beijing subway. How stable the internet connection is. The latency, this is a test of latency. So there is a latency of 1.6 seconds on the Huawei and 2.6 seconds on the 16 Pro. And yet the Xiaomi 15 Pro doesn't seem to really have latency at all. So they are comparing the latency results between Xiaomi 15 Pro, Mate 60 Pro and iPhone 16 Pro Max. So these are all the different lines of the Beijing subway and their subway.
那么这个测试的结果啊，10条线，我们对 iPhone 保持了全胜。
Out of the 8 lines that tested, the Xiaomi 15 Pro had the least latency of 8 of them.
除了这个之外呢，我们还给大家带来了一个可能很多人是第一次听到的功能，叫无网通。那什么叫无网通呢？ 就是当你的手机没有信号的时候，
So this is peer-to-peer communication, if I'm not wrong.
手机之间
You-
靠手机发出的信号。
So even if you can't get cellular network, you can still communicate with other nearby smartphones
公里级的无网通
to
话。
a
到了
radius
35
of 3.5 kilometers.
公里
Modern day
3.5
walkie-talkie.
手机发出信号可以跟3.5公里之外的另外一部小米手机。
So obviously this will only make sense if this
3.5公里
across
可以涵盖整
brand
个鼓浪屿，涵盖整个乌兹洲岛以及
cross brand thingy.
并且它还可以穿墙，能够
And it can even pass through 7 levels of
信号传递能力特别的强，并且呢，
floors.
你拨打电话跟我普通打电话是一模一样的。
And the experience is same as calling
之后你就直接把
calling someone on the cellular network.
所以如果你在国外旅游，在地库里面没有信号，在户外探险的时候没有信号的时候，你就可以用到它。如果万一发生了地震，可以通过与我们的地震的预警功能进行一次联动，可以自动搜索周围的无网通对象，一键呢就可以通话救援。这个功能呢，我认为在关键的时刻还是非常的有用。最近大家呢出国旅行了也越来越多，我想推荐大家的是首选我们小米手机。小
So
米15 Pro 可以，它的频段可以覆盖全球20个国家和地
So
区，覆盖超过500的运营
yeah,
商。
talking about the coverage of this
我们内部
Xiaomi network
在
overseas.
里面去申请流量，特别的方便，成本呢也比运营商的要低。同时，如果你没有流量，落地之后可以赠送当季300兆的流量。所以说这个功能呢也推荐给大家。
You can, yeah,
大
so
家带来的小米
apparently this satellite communication is also supports internet.
准备讲介绍过啊，这是我们搭载
Okay, now they're talking about other things like the
应该
performance.
是一个划时代的芯片，因为它代表着什么？我们移动的处理器的性能追平了什么桌面处理器，并且呢也搭载了 HyperCore， 所以使用的微内核。
Okay, they are just repeating some things that were mentioned in the
散热的面积呢和
Xiaomi 15 regular keynote,
所以呢，
including the the vapor chamber, the
那么既然是 Pro 的话，我想我们的
SoC, and the coordination with HyperCore.
大型开放世界的游戏去叠加一个
Again, the same comparative test in terms of thermal management.
所以我们
Playing a game.
比 iPhone 高了0.4帧，单帧的功耗也降了4%，以及我们的温度呢也低了1度。我们再加一下难度，大型3G 回合制的游戏，我们提高了分辨率，我们是2K 就是1440p，iPhone 是885p 的分辨率。
So they are especially comparing Core HD versus the iPhone screen that is always
低了18%，以及平均
that they call 885p.
7度是一个特别恐怖的数字。我们再加一些难度啊，还是这个游戏是超重载的地图，这个是以前 iPhone 包括游
And you can see that the iPhone has much more irregular performance than the Xiaomi 15 Pro that still keeps its cool
单帧的功耗呢，
on this, comparing each other's thermal charts.
我们应该来说完全胜过了 iPhone 的手机。最后呢，我们再聊一下影像。影像的话，我们聊一下徕卡光学。在
Okay, now they're talking about the camera.
带队呢去德国徕卡总部做了一次交流。我们双方的团队呢讨论一个特别
And the collaboration they have with Leica,
移动影像时代，我们如何将徕卡100年的光
combining Leica's century-long legacy in optics with Xiaomi's cutting-edge AI enhancements to set new standards in photography.
所以今天呢，徕卡的 CEO Mr. Hart 先生来到现场，请他站起来给大家打个招呼好吗？Thank you, Mr. Hart. Thank you. 这一次呢，我们带了双方团队联合研发
Okay, Sumilux again.
系统 Sumilux。在拉丁语里面，Sumi 是多的意思，Lux 呢是光的意思。
More light, in other words. This is what Sumilux really stands for.
我们搭载的是小米迄今为止最精密的高解析
1, 2, 3, 4, 7 element lens, if I'm not wrong.
的装配的精度比上一代
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 element
一
lens.
个头发丝的1/30，并且呢，还搭载了全新的 LG 超透镀膜，超
He pronounced LD as LG. Oh my.
平均度。3颗主摄的素质都非常的高，都是5000万像素。
All 50 megapixels, triple sensors.
超广角
This is a sample from the ultra wide.
超广角 表呢可以拍出特别有艺术感的照片，所以这个图呢构图非常的有意思，它特别有张力。我们再看主摄拍的张照片。
Okay, here's a sample from the main camera.
大家可以看到色彩呢非常的真实，画面的
real to true to life color.
我们再看另外一个也是主摄拍的照片。
Another main camera sample.
宠物呢比较难拍，是因为什么？它特别考验
Difficult to take photos of pets because they are very active and move a lot. But here they managed to capture the moment nicely.
并且大家可以看到这个虚化的效果跟单反是一个级别的。我们再看另外一个也是主摄拍的2倍的样片。
Another 2 times telephoto.
我觉得它非常有对比感。
This is probably lossless zoom from the main sensor.
孩子画像，它是彩色的，这个是黑白的，并且呢，我觉得它非常有故事感。这一次呢，我想给大家讲的是，我们 Pro 最重要要讲的一个问题，就是它的长焦。
So they're now talking about the periscope camera of the Ultra.
Ultra 的长焦，下方的小米15 Pro。
So they're basically using the 14 Ultra telephoto sensor on the 15 Pro. So it's a 5 times native periscope zoom and it can achieve up to 10 times hybrid lossless zoom. The 14 Ultra is using IMX858 sensor for telephoto.
我们的目标就是在硬件方面实现徕卡光学的精密化和小型化，并且在计算摄影方面，我们要拥抱 AI 大模型，同时我们一定要去坚持真实的光学位。所以呢，我们的长焦融合了光学大模型，在保证光学位的基础上
Again using the same ISP development.
我们再看一个样片。
Okay, another comparison of photos between the 16 Pro Max and the 15 Pro. And you can clearly see the 15 Pro has better color reproduction and liveliness.
看到的就是它拍出来的，但是 iPhone 拍出的照片呢，它有点非常强的什么光学位。如果我们再放大看一下，我们看这个树木的颜色啊，大家可以看到 iPhone 拍出来的是不是有一种什么叫水泥感？水泥感，所以这就是我相信是光学跟数码位的巨大的差别。所以我们认为，在移动影像时代，我们的目标就要捕捉真实的瞬间。真实，我们认为就是影像最大的意义。所以，我们跟徕卡双方最大的目标就是一起努力，让我们的影像时代告别数码位，而回归到光学位。我们再看另外几个样片。
So another sample from their 5 times periscope zoom camera.
是在夕阳下，朋友在河边聊天，但是大家可以看到，特别具有什么层次感，特别具有空间感，并且它是5倍拍的，细节保留的特别好。我们再看另外一个，就是黄金落日人像，这是在傍晚的时候。
Another 5 times shot taken in sunset.
质感呢也非常的好。
Skin tones are very good. That's what he's trying to emphasize.
特意做了超长焦，在1年
And 20 times ultra zoom, which is a software beta for now.
方式让我们的画质做一次增强。这一次呢，我们把它的倍率从30倍拉到了20倍，让我们有更好的发挥的空间。我们也看一个样片，这是100米远处的一个观光的游艇。
So they're comparing 20 times digital zoom between iPhone 16 Pro Max on the left and the Xiaomi 15 Pro on the right. And you can see that the 15 Pro has less noise and more detail. And this is how AI can improve digital zoom.
这是今天给大家带来的小米的徕卡影像。要划重点的话，就3个重点，搭载了我们双方一起合作新一代的苏拉斯镜头。 把 Ultra 的长焦下放到 Pro 上去，以及我们升级了我们的 AI 大模型计算摄影平台小米 SP 2.0。这是今天给大家带来的小米15 Pro。它虽然是一款大屏的全能旗舰，但是它有非常好的精致，它的设计非常
Pro design, Pro endurance, Pro screen, Pro camera, and Pro communications. 5 Pro things, in other words.
还有 Ultra 的长焦，以及搭载了无网通这样一个功能。我们跟上一代小米
So compared to the older 14 Pro,
看到也是全面的升级，不论是屏幕、性能、
or major improvements in specs according to Xiaomi.
一个是超声波的指纹，一个是什么无网通。做了这么多的升级之后，大家可以发现，我们小米15 Pro 呢还更轻还更薄，所以相对上一
And yet, even after all this innovation, it's still lighter and thinner than the previous generation. That's why they call it a massive improvement.
iPhone 16 Pro Max
Again, they are comparing to the 16 Pro
应
Max.
该来说，我们几乎是完胜的啊，几乎是完胜的。特别多的细节呢，我再不再讲了。我们也看一下 iPhone 的价钱，8+256 9999元。如果你想要一个512的版本，你需要加2000块钱，这就是今天
So obviously, they are criticizing the iPhone pricing.
大家揭晓我们小米15 Pro 的价钱，5299元。
So it starts from 5,5299 yuan for a 12 GB plus 256 GB variant.
299元啊。好，一共有3个内存的版本。
3 SKUs.
512以及
You can increase the RAM and double the storage for 5799. If you want 16 GB of RAM and 1 TB of ROM, you pay 6499, which is all still lower than the base iPhone 16 Pro Max model.
我们还有亮银版，也是
And the special silver edition,
5499、5999
you add 200 yuan premium to get this special silver color.
我们首销的话也会
And they'll give you a complimentary aftercare service worth 1,396 yuan in China.
也配备了非常丰富。
And these are the official cases that you can get.
这是今天给大家带来的小米15和小米15 Pro， 因为我看到非常多的人在纠结说，我到底选标准版呢还是选 Pro 版？小米15呢，我们的目标是要做黄金手感的小屏旗舰，我们的 Pro 呢是要做大屏的全能旗舰，所以大家这个就好选了。如果呢你还不知道怎么选择，建议你一次买2只，2个都买，好吗？
They are telling you if you can't decide, just buy 2 at once.
手机介绍完，我们给大家带来我们的平板，最新的小米。
So the Xiaomi Pad 7 release.
公布一下我们的成绩啊，这是昨天刚刚出炉的成绩，在第3季度。
Okay, so the usual sales number
增长了5%，
increased 58% from the past year. Top 3 in China, top 4 globally.
我也想立一个 flag， 在非常短的时间，我的目标就是让我们的平板进入到全球前3名。
So they want to achieve the top 3 in market share in terms of having a tablet.
今天带来的小米平板7系列强大高效，搭载的是一块11.2寸的屏幕，
11.2 inch screen,
2开的分辨，
3.2K, 144Hz,
最高的分辨率，
800 nits,
144赫兹的7档可变高刷，以及800尼特的最高亮度，还支持小米的生态多屏同色。如果你是小米手机、小米平板、小米笔记本、小米显示器和小米电视，你就可以享受到多屏同色，以及支持获得德国莱茵3重的护眼认证。
also DC dimming. It uses the Snapdragon 8S Gen 3,
内存是 LPDDR5X 以及
LD, LPDDR5X RAM plus UFS 4.0 storage.
的流畅度呢有大幅度的提升。重载的场景，例如你要导一个视频出来，可以速度提高14%。如果你去运行重载的游戏，也可以。
Again, emphasizing the performance figures.
它也是小米平板里面续航最长的8850
8,850 mAh battery.
去用6个小时，还可以剩5%。
And you can still have 45% of battery left after heavy usage for 6 hours.
快充。
67 watts of wired charging. And it has a standby time of 600 days, which is nearly the equivalent to 2 years.
1年半之后拿起来呢，你还可以有电。出厂呢，我们就搭载了小米普马 S
And Xiaomi HyperOS features.
HyperCall、HyperConnect 以及 HyperAI， 可以让我们的办公更加的高效。它支持了非常多的 PC 的专业体验，例如有个工作台的模式，可以做什么？多个任务、多个窗口呢同时打开。
So PC like things like multi-windows, having 3 windows at once, PC Office.
还有我们的澎湃智联可以让我们之间有跨端之间。
HyperConnect includes having a multi-cam setup as well as dual multiple monitors. So you comparing a Xiaomi tablet with a phone can turn the tablet into a live streaming monitor.
可以控制笔记本，还有特别多的 AI 的能力来去糊弄我们的平板工。
The camera suddenly shaking off a sudden. That's strange. Maybe the camera has a mind of its own and got excited over what it's seeing.
你跟外国朋友去做视频的时候呢，还可以帮你做同声的翻译。外观呢也非常的漂亮，金属一体化的机身，
6.18mm thickness and weighs 500 grams.
有黑色、绿色、
Black, green, and blue.
下面呢，我想特别给大家做3个推荐，也就是3大特别的升级。
So 3 major improvements.
3:2。上一代呢，我们的平板是16:10。
So they changed aspect ratio from 60 to 10 to 3:2 to better maximize productivity.
办公特别优化的比例，为什么？看文档，
Because you can now see more of a document,
看照片，也可以更加的
see more of a photo, which are usually taken in 4 to 3 aspect ratio.
什么4:3的比例，所以它就是我们书本的比例，所以特别的好。
So you also better reading for books.
最紧的屏幕以及3:2的屏幕比例。第2个推荐呢，就是纳米柔光屏。可能听这个名字呢，大家不知道说这块屏幕到底是什么。我相信呢，大家都遇到这样一个痛点，就是当我们
So they're talking about anti-glare for the screen. So it's probably the same coating as the Samsung S24 Ultra. That's my guess.
那好，这样的一个情况之下呢，我们怎么来解决？我们在屏幕上面做了 AG 纳米级的时刻，
So AG-based material coating to reduce glare.
消除99%，并且呢，我们做
Removes 99% of glare.
降低65%的反射率。这个2个合到一起之后，大家可以看到，如果你没有去做的话，你反光之下你几乎看不见了。但是你做了 AG 和 AR 之后的话，大约就是这样的一个显示的效果。如果你说我只做 AG 不做 AR， 就是这样的一个效果，它会产生偏色，所以你会发现它发灰了。这样的一个屏幕呢，它又有磨砂的质感，是用我们的
And they want to have a feeling that's really like paper for a stylus. The stylus is sold separately and it's sold for 499 yuan.
很多3方应用的延迟，像我们1方的应用一样。这样的一块屏幕是 iPad 率先推出的。
So they are comparing the display against the iPad Pro.
它只在17B 的内存版本上才有。
So this kind of anti-glare you can only get from the 1 terabyte onwards.
要买一块，
And you have to add 800 yuan to just get this anti-glare display.
大约需要15000块钱左右。我们小米呢，只需要加200元。
So you just need to add a quarter of that price, 200 yuan, to get this anti-glare display.
坚持做感动人心、价格获得的好产品，让每个人都能享受科技的美好生活。
Okay, they are re-emphasizing their philosophy on delivering reasonable prices.
第3个我给大家推荐的是悬浮键盘。
Okay, now they're talking about the keyboard for the tablet. So you can see that they are copying the Magic keyboard for the iPad Pro.
那么这个键盘呢，特别的好用啊，特别的好用。第一，它可以做到0到120度的无界的调节。
So emphasis in changing angles.
我们对它的中间的轴做了精细化的调教，它可以做到什么？开合不费力，以及支撑呢不松垮，并且我们也做了无数次的测试，能够做到上万次的开合，依然非常的稳固。用这样的键盘，大家用 iPad 的时候呢，喜欢什么？放在腿上使用。那这个
So
要求
it talks about how it's easy to use it on the lap.
所以这次呢，我们也对配重做了非常多的这样多的处理，它可以做它非常的稳固，并且呢不后仰。键盘呢也做了升级，这次是64键适用的背光键盘，并且呢我们做了1.3毫米的大键程，这是 PC 的键程，所以我们
So the key travel is 1.3mm, which is similar to that of a proper PC.
在下部的话
And the trackpad.
触控盘，这次我们做到叫全域机械按压的触控板。什么叫全域？就是说你全部可以按，因为有一些触控板呢只能按下面，不能按上面。并且的话，如果你用2个手去打字的时候，你经常会误触。我们做了什么防误触的功能？如果
So the trackpad can actually block unwanted gestures
了什么？
From what I can see,
还有，朋友们用久了之后呢，大家会发现呢，它容易脏，它的背
and it can resist
线毛容易脏，
the
以及它的四边呢容易被花掉。所以这一次我们做了抗脏污以及抗奶膜的测试，大家完全可以去放心。这样的一个键盘呢 ，iPad 叫妙孔键盘。
So again, they are comparing the prices for the iPad Magic Keyboard to that of the Xiaomi Pad 7.
而我们小米的悬浮键盘只需要999元。
And this Magic Keyboard is only 999 yuan compared to 2399 onwards for the iPad Pro.
这就是呢给大家带来的小米平板7 Pro， 一共如下的升级：屏幕素质大升级，3:2的比例做升级，性能升级，续航升级，以及数量大的小米平板 S， 能够让我们的办公更加的轻松，还搭载了最新的悬浮键盘。它的价格是2499元起。
So it starts from 2499 yuan with 8 plus 128GB.
这个价钱呢跟上一代的价钱是一样的啊，所以我们
Same price as the previous Pro generation.
除了 Pro 版之外呢，这次我们还带来什么？
And they also have a standard Xiaomi Pad 7
Pro 版有4个地方不同
with a 7 Plus Gen 3,
，WiFi 充电以及相机。
slightly worse Wi-Fi, slightly slower charging, and slightly worse camera. But the display, they kept it the same.
配件以及
Hi Nanako, how is it? How are you doing? It's, yeah, of course.
平板
Actually, if you're not a heavy user, you're not reliant on iPad specific apps, you might be better off going for these Android tablets. Actually, so far I've been using a Samsung Galaxy Tab S7 for the past few years,
8.256的版本
since I was very used to the aspect interface and all that.
2400
So I could tell you that Nanako, if you're not very
纳米乳光屏。
okay, so for Xiaomi Pad 7, price start at about 2,000 yuan, and you add another 200 yuan for the 256GB, which I think is the best option for most people. These are the prices for the accessories, including the keyboard, protective case, another, and the stylus.
你购买我们的
And you can actually get a discount if you put all these as a combo.
498元，所以2999元的话就可以获得这样的一个套装，所以是不是非常的优惠啊？好，今天的发布会呢，是我们人车家全生态的全家桶。
So this is the Xiaomi ecosystem. 手机、平板、手环、手表、
最后呢会有雷总
smart electronics and cars.
小米苏七 R 充。我们先看一个视频。好，我们先
So Ranako, by the way, thanks for coming along. You can follow me. Follow will be very much appreciated as well. So now we are seeing the video for the next Xiaomi watch. I'm not sure if it's running Wear OS or Xiaomi's own proprietary OS. I think it's more likely to be the latter. But honestly speaking, I think that for my own use case, a smart band running a one-time OS will be more than sufficient for what I do. Those especially they have much better battery life, for instance. And the bezel seems to be interchangeable, you notice that? Okay, the same lady that introduced us the regular 15 is back.
我给大家稍微介绍一下啊，它搭载了一块1.43英寸的
So a 1.43-inch curved circular OLED.
而且这次呢，我们专门升级了湿屏防污处，也就是说，当你运动出汗或者是下雨有雨滴的时候，不会误触。这次啊，亮度有了一个巨大的升级，升级到了
The
1500
brightness of the screen has increased to 1,500 nits.
非常非常的清楚。这次的腕表整个工艺的升级是巨大的，
And improvement in craftsmanship.
3D 工艺有了高亮拉丝金属的质感，非常非常的漂亮啊！并且呢，我们的表环也支持了刻度，既好用又好看。我们还带来了全新的表冠设计，你看，轻轻的转动这个表冠，就能够看到
Is this bezel actually rotatable?
转动你的这个
Did they just copy the rotatable bezel from Samsung?
带来了
Did I see that correctly?
两个配色，但是大家
Did I see that correctly, chat?
Watch S4 最大的特点是百变表圈。
And then the bezel can be interchanged.
这个设计其实争议挺大的，有的人特别希望窄边框，但是仍然有非常多的人很喜欢
So they're talking about some people who love the bezel, some who don't. So this bezel is meant to accommodate people's taste.
每天都能有不同的穿搭风格。所以这次呢，我们专门升级了整体的工艺和坚固性，比上一代提升了60%。 而且啊，我们这个腕表啊，极限拆装1400也能够稳。
Again, Mr. Shaky Camera reappears.
如果你的表签掉
I'm sure the camera has a mind of its own. It's really excited about all these things, you know.
看几个非常漂亮的设计啊，双时区，这是一个蓝色和灰色双拼的腕表。
Dual tone design. Here's one of the
陶瓷工艺，蓝色和灰色双拼。
dual tone design, which I do like.
特别适合经常出国出差的人。它的表带也特别的漂亮啊，是蓝色和灰色双拼的真皮表带。如果你经常度假，推荐大家尝试一下这款假日橙。
Another configuration that they are pushing for.
压力传感器。
Stress indicator on the watch face.
提醒大家啊，放松一下心情啊，我们做一个职场稳定、情绪稳定的人，并且呢，它整个这个表盘的纹理、光影细节非常的柔和，搭配了一个编织腕带，又亲肤又透气。还有这个啊，这个是棕榈绿，还有这个非常酷的叫做锻造碳。哎，这个真的是特别的棒啊！因为我们这次的锻造碳里面加了铜丝，所以每一块都有独一无二的铜丝云纹，特别的酷。你看这上面啊，对，就是非常有户外感，包括这个氟橡胶的表带也亲肤又透气。这个啊叫黑彩虹，是我们去年的爆款，这次也做了升级。
Thanos, I only can think of the Thanos rings when I see this for some reason. This looks like a watch that Thanos would wear.
非常有机械腕表的感受，氟橡胶的表带搭配了彩色的这个彩虹，也特别的好看。如果你很喜欢高雅时尚艺术的风格，也可以尝试一下这款液态银。我们同时还为大家准备
Okay, fair enough. All gamer boy, but I think the case, as long as it works. That the case is the least of my concerns. Okay, these are just animated watch faces.
这个时尚的腕表啊，就能让你的动态萌宠。
I would rather prefer to upgrade the GPU and CPU first.
在你的手腕上也能感受到了。我们同时知道啊，很多人买智能腕表特别在意的就是运动和健康功能。
So we're talking about health and fitness functions of the watch.
新的心率血氧传感器搭配了我们的
Improvements to the optical health measurement sensor by 98.2%.
而且我们知道很多人特别关心自己的睡眠质量，所以我们联合3家
So they have partnered with 3 health organizations to better improve your health sleep reading capacity.
睡眠障碍，我们都希望能够给到你更好的帮助。我们整体的运动健康功能啊很丰富，支持
Versus what are you comparing it against to, by the way?
专业跑步模式
And expert running measurements.
所以给你特别好的跑步指导。而且如果你跑步的时候不想带手机，想轻松一点，可以使用这个 eSIM 的版本。这个版本呢就能够直接带
And it also supports eSIM, the Apple Watch S4.
特别方便。如果是几个跑友一起出去啊，我们还支持双模对讲
And peer-to-peer communication,
有网络，咱们可以使用网络模式。
even without a cellular connection.
或者当下没有网络了，咱们还可以使用蓝牙模式，特别。
Only given boy, I think they probably relax the measures over time. That's what I think. You can go and double check.
这次整个腕上的智能功能啊，也是大幅度的升级。首先
Xiaomi for OS2. So this is actually not running Android Wear as I usually think they would run. They're running up Xiaomi proprietary OS.
还有一个上一代我们有的这个手势功能。
And again, the same finger gestures that can be used to control the watch. So this one you can use it to turn on the smart home devices when near them. Well, you must realize that this OS can sometimes help the Chinese companies achieve the OS autonomy that they always wanted.
是不是挺棒的？
You should know that, right?
响指就能遥控。
And maybe achieve better power efficiency and their watch can last longer.
一个动作关联到了一个快捷指令，非常的方便啊，大家可以尝试一下。那同时呢，我们这次也有其他的大升级啊，我们的焦点通知这次全新支持了滴滴打车，所以一共支持高德、美团和滴滴打车。我们的
So we can support the various
现在支持了
ride-hailing apps,
比亚迪车
NFC payments,
持续在增加，所以大家在
and the amount of apps you can download for the
这
watch.
是我们为大家带来的全新的小米 Watch S4，这次有
I think maybe this is just to make the watch future ready if China still doesn't have eSIM yet.
运动健康的功能，
And probably meant for global audiences as well.
你的腕上智能也越来越强。那我们来看一下价格啊，
So, okay, the eSIM one is basically you have to pay extra 200 yuan for it, it seems. So the Bluetooth one is 999, and there's a special design version. And the packages are sold separately, the star change are sold separately. Yeah, but maybe they are intending it for a global audience in the future, so don't think too much about it. Okay, now they're talking about the Smart Band 9 Pro. So they are talking about they acknowledge how the stock for the previous generation band has not met user expectations. Well, so the screen on the Smart Band Pro is 1.74 inches, and the bezels have been reduced to 2.2 millimeters. Increase the screen size by 36%. And the glass is curved, as you can see. A high color AMOLED screen. And it also supports web touch. And multicolored CNC craftsmanship. AMOLED OLED are mostly the same, to be fair. So you can choose from a black frame, pink frame, and white frame, and you get new kinds of straps. So this is a real leather strap. Actually, I think most telcos actually don't really like eSIM at all because it makes it easy for people to switch to other telcos. Yet another type of leather strap. And the previous straps used for the previous gen Smart Bands can be used on the Smart Band 9 Pro. And the feeling that you must have from wearing the Smart Band must be like you haven't worn it at all. So it weighs 24.5 grams, 10.8 millimeters thin, and has water resistant rating of 5 ATM. Which this is a very underrated feature when it comes to Smart Band because I don't like something too heavy because you feel it, especially when you go and sleep. So it's good to have something small and lightweight. So AOD stamina has also increased as well. It can last longer. So you can use AOD for up to 10 days. If it's very heavy usage, 8 days. And now they are talking about the health and fitness functions of the Smart Band 9 Pro. Again, probably using the same optical sensor as the Big Brother Watch S4. And the sleep pattern is also done in collaboration with some health organizations. And improve GPS accuracy for workouts. Of course. So they also have NFC payments, which may not be the case for the global version. Hope this actually comes out the global version. Hopefully you work with Google Pay for the global version. And you can even use it with iOS. You can enjoy message notifications, health and fitness, sleep tracking, 21 days of battery life, and NFC.
这块屏幕很大，看得很清楚。接下来啊，所有的健身数据跟健康相关的数据都能够同步到你 iPhone 的健康 APP 里。还有啊，睡眠也是一样的，既能同步，而且又能深度的监测，监测的专业性和准确度也很高，并且超长续航对他们非常重要，因为总充电还挺麻烦的。那他们也特别喜欢我们的 NFC 功能，因为我们的 NFC 很开放，所以能够支持各种各样的刷卡。所以我们小米手环9 Pro 对 iOS 的兼容性也进一步的提升。我们也希望更多的苹果用户愿意选择我们的小米手环9 Pro。那这就是我们今天带来的小米手环。
Okay, the summary of the Xiaomi Standby Live Pro specs.
观感有了一个巨大的提升，首次使用了金属。
Improvement in design especially. Maximum battery life of 21 days. NFC payments, Xiaomi HarbourOS 2. And even as a built-in game. Am I looking it correctly? So it starts at 399 yuan and 449 yuan for the special leather edition. And these are the straps, the price for the straps. Okay, and now they're talking about their power banks. 10,000 milliamp hours and can charge at 165 watts.
这是什么概念？就是一个5000毫安时的手机，25分钟就充满了，并且。
So it seems to be working with Xiaomi's own proprietary charging formula, but I'm not sure if you work with USB power delivery as well.
而且呢，它有2个输出口，一个120瓦，一个45瓦，所以能够同时给2个设备一起高功率充电。这个真的太方便了。
So you can split the 165 watt of power between 120 watts and 45 watts.
经常要充3-4个小时，它35分钟就把自己给充满了。
So you can charge the power bank fully in 35 minutes.
还可以拎着，特别的方便，并且它还有块显示屏啊，大家能够精准的看到剩余电量。
And there's LCD that will tell you the amount of power that it still has. And it only costs 199 yuan.
那接下来呢，为大家介绍一下小米的科技家电。
Okay, this is their smart home appliances, smart door lock, air purifiers, televisions, fridge, Wi-Fi routers, and all this. And their home electronics are among the top in China.
空调中国第4，但是不知道我们的门锁线上销量也是中国第1。所以呢，今天我带了很多 Pro 级的家电，让大家感受一下。
So why do you call Tianjin the Ohio of China, by the way, Ollie Gamer Boy? I'm quite interested to know. And this is their research and development center for home electronics. 47 innovative research labs inside the building.
在过去10几年里面，已经投入了上百亿，未来也会持续投入我们的底层技术，让这个品类越做越好。
10,300 square meters inside, if I'm not wrong. So this is their smart lock system. You can use Hand ID to unlock the door, it seems. But also Face ID, fingerprint, pin sensors, traditional keys, Bluetooth, conditional unlocking from your wearable computer, smartphones, etc. etc. You know that this Hand ID is actually not that new, you know. LG actually had a very similar system for the LG G8 back in 2019. But it didn't last long enough to really catch on though. LG also did this as well. And then this smart lock has 2 cameras, one at the top and one at the bottom, so that, for instance, it's very useful if, in the case of doorstep delivery, you can see the courier, you can make sure that the courier is really leaving the things on your doorstep. And so the safety features include
真的万一遇到危险的时候，你就拿这个指纹来开锁，它就会给你的紧急联系人拨打一个求救电话。
So that it can actually be used to call emergency hotlines with setting a
那我们为了
specific fingerprint
我也觉得特别的贴心。
and as well as a high resolution external screen.
同时呢，我们在里面集成了一块高清屏幕，这样呢，大家看起来就特别的方便，尤其适合老年人和小朋友，不用担心费电，因为我们默认搭载2块锂电池，可以做到6个月的长续航。
So this smart lock can last for 6 months at a time.
应俱全，其他的参数我就不读了啊，大家可以拍一下。那这么好的门锁呢，其实也只是3299元。
It starts from 3,299 yuan.
也可以从一个门锁开始，一开门就有科技生活的仪式感。那接下来呢，我们再聊一聊路由器啊。今天带来的
So this is their Wi-Fi router storage, not the air purifier.
是组网，所以这两台
So it can cover up to 160 square meters of home.
两个加起来
This is the
160平米。
Wi-Fi mesh network, sorry.
哎，如果你的房子更大，那没关系啊，它可以集联，最多支持到10台的集联。
And you can connect daisy chain up to 10 of them at one time. It delivers Wi-Fi 7 speed.
2500兆，所以大家可以放心使用，而且它支持了蓝牙网关和中枢网关，能够成为家里的一站式智能中心。我们为大家准备了2个版本，一个是成
Two versions.
699，还有一个是单支的349，它们的区别是网关的形式不同。所以你家里有很多智能设备的时候，这样的路由器就特别的方便。
So these kind of mesh networks are very useful if you have a lot of IoT things connected in your house.
首先我们看一下我们的电视。
So this is their television, an 85-inch Xiaomi S Pro TV.
引领了整个 mini LED 的发展。mini LED 真的是高端电
So
视，
it uses mini LED technology,
因为它有着比 LCD 更高的亮度。
240 Hz refresh rate,
暗部系
minimum brightness of 0.0001 nits and 3,200 nits.
巨大的提升，提升到了惊人的2880分区，比
2,880
所以就能有更高的分区，更好的精准控光，所以它的画质表现
points of control so that you can get a more accurate picture in terms of brightness.
搭载了一个独立的画质增强芯片和我们的电
A new audio visual chip processor.
我们在画质上面是非常重投入的，所以我就不比了啊，大家都可以相信我们。那今天
It trust us, bro. Don't need to compare to other
所以我们
other TVs.
带来了全新的
And it's powered by Xiaomi HyperOS 2.
更细腻，并且因为我们的 HarperCore， 所以它整体的交互体验非常非常的流畅。大家喜欢的超级小爱也到了，
And it's also powered by Super Xiaomi 8 Assistant 2.
来跟它对话，对吧？它就能更聪明的来响应你的需求。如果你的电视放在家里，有的时候还不关机，那有2个功能可能特别
And the TV on standby can also
屏保。当你开启了以
act
后
like a
就像
live wallpaper of sorts.
动态大壁画一样，特别的漂亮。而且呢，你还可以在上面拼一个小小的便签，这就变成了一个家庭留言板，家人之间可以互通有无。
And something like a notice board as well for the family.
都非常非常的优秀。那卖多少钱呢？因为这样的高端电视，行业普遍在1万到3
So
万。
comparing to Hisense TV and Sony's Bravia TVs, and they are selling for 8,499 yuan. Well, I'll leave it to the AV experts like Vincent Teo to compare against the Sony Bravia.
或者你很喜欢巨屏的
And they have a 100-inch SKU if you want.
100寸的版本，它除了尺寸更大，你看啊，它的分区到了惊人的3。
And it has light control zones up to 3,864 of them, 3,000 nits max brightness, and it costs you 12,999 yuan.
厉害的，是不是？
So you get choose from sizes from 65 all the way to 100.
电视 S Pro 这个 mini LED 版
Start from 4,599 yuan for 65-inch, all the way up to 12,999 yuan for 100-inch one.
我们再来聊一个
And a Fridge Pro, wow.
我们小米首个双系统的冰箱。
So first, dual system fridge.
冷冻有2套独立的制冷系统。
So two independent fridge motors.
什么好处呢？第一个不串味儿，
So that means that it will prevent smells from the compartments from mixing with each other.
这个特别好啊，它控温就更精准。
And it also means less noise.
1摄氏度，
And it can preserve the freshness of food for longer.
摄氏度深冷，所以当你冻肉的时候，它就能够让这个快速通过这个冰晶结晶带，这样的话它的汁液 液就不容易流失，所以保鲜的效果也更好。而且啊，这么好的冰箱，小占地大容量
，and it also doesn't take up a lot of space,
系统完全没有损失容量，它仍然做
but
到
it still has quite a lot of volume inside as well,
是超薄平嵌，可以完全嵌入到
and it can actually flush it flat as well, as you can see.
非常高颜值的冰箱，其他的参数规格也特别的好。这样的冰箱呢，行业上一般啊都要卖到5000多块钱，我们只要3000。
And they are selling it for just 3,999 yuan, where other competitors are selling for 5,000 yuan. But of course, whether or not it can last a long term is another thing altogether. Hello there, this is our washing machine.
蓝氧护衣洗，因为所有的洗衣机共同要解决的问题，就是把顽固污渍洗干净，并且能够做到足够护衣。行业里有很多不同的流派，我们选择的蓝氧是当下非常领先的一种技术。它的原理是什么呢？它是通过电解水把水分解成5种不同的活氧离子，然后让
So they are basically splitting water to wash clothes to the different elements. From H2O becomes hydrogen, oxygen, and all that. It seems.
酱油啦、果汁啊，能洗得特别干净。第二个很好，就叫白衣久洗不发黄。
So basically, it can remove all stubborn dirt and stains, and it will not make white clothes yellow.
它也是全嵌的，你看嵌在里面非常的漂亮，并且这个洗衣机的颜值真的很高，我特别喜欢上面这个面板的设计，很精密的科技感。这么好的洗衣机啊，我们也只卖2999元。
2,999 yuan for this washing machine.
那刚才介绍的这些产品形态呢，大家可能多多少少都还见过。那接下来我们介绍2个新同学，大家就会觉得有一点点陌生。
So I actually wonder whether or not how would this compare to the Japanese white goods.
双驱洗和双洗烘。说到这里，我们要
Is this a combined washer and dryer? Yes, it is.
先进的概念，因为很多人不想把内外衣混洗，他就用2个。
So this is the conventional double stack washer and dryer. But in Singapore, what we do is mostly just use the natural sun to dry our clothes. We don't. Very few households in Singapore have a dryer.
可能也不用这么大，能不能省点水？所以我们就在想，我们有没有可能把2个滚筒放到一个标准尺寸里
So the question is, where can we combine the washer and dryer into just one appliance?
潜力的，我们首次在标准尺寸里面放下了2个滚筒。
So within one machine the size of a conventional washing machine, you can put
就是这2个桶都是既能洗又能烘，它们还
basically both drums, they can both wash and can dry as well.
讲解为什么？因为要让他们同时工作还互不影响，它就需要2套独立的悬挂，还要5
So 2 independent motors.
大桶的洗和烘各一个，小桶的洗和烘一个，还有一个下排水，并且啊，你要做到洗烘的时候温度非常的精准，所以我们有6个温度传感器。所以你看
So 6 different temperatures.
集成在一个标准尺寸里面，本身就已经很难了，是不是？但是更重要的是，这2个桶是2个。
So the big one can maximize at 10 kg. The small one can do up to 0.25 kg.
这个小桶是一个非常高端的这个医护级的内衣洗，这2个全是高配，你想要的功能全部都有。我觉得这个就很厉害了啊，这个真的是非常高的技术集成度。那我们今天重点聊一聊这个小桶啊，为什么叫医护级的内衣洗呢？第一个啊，它洗内衣洗得很讲究。
So this is mainly meant for your underwear and lingerie.
水浸泡，然后再用热水洗。
So it uses cold water then hot water to wash.
分解再升温去渍，并且有的人喜欢独立的内衣清洁液，我们支持智能的独立投放。而且呢，它既能烘又能托管，所以就说你晚上睡觉前把内衣放进去，第2天早上拿出来的时候又干净又温暖，真的是特别。
So you can actually leave it to run overnight and then you can get it nice and dry the day after. So it kills a lot of microbes and germs.
下密效果也非常的好。说到这里啊，其实这个板块现在行业里面说什么都有，有一点点鱼龙混杂，所以这次我们专门为它做了一个认证。
And receive a China certificate.
认证过的专业小
Certificate to prove that it really kills all the bacteria and is really good for health.
你要获得这么好的洗衣体验，你得怎么办呢？你得买2个，对吧？一个大的10公斤洗烘一体，一个小的内衣洗。 先说多贵不说啊，关键是你需要2套独立的上下水，挺麻烦的。
So she's talking about the problems of having to buy the washer and dryer separately.
它尺寸是一样的，所以这么好的产品，这么好的技术，行业里也没有什么先例。我们这个产品只要4999。
And it only costs us 4,999 yuan.
挺厉害的啊，这个真的是挺厉害的。接下来呢，我们再介绍一个大家会觉得很新鲜的挂机空调，是我们的米家空调上出风 Pro。顾名思义啊，它就是上出风啊。大家可能都知道，我们的挂机这么多年了啊，形态没有什么变化，都是向下出风。
So they are talking about air conditioners.
对着人吹，它是不舒服的，对吧？所以呢，很多这个产品都在想不同的方法来规避风直接吹人的方法。
So trying to reinvent aircon so that it doesn't blow wind directly towards you.
我们直接让风从上面吹出来，不就行了吗？所以呢
So the design is that so the blower is basically shifted to the top, away from the usual way of putting it at the bottom.
贴顶安装，只要留2厘米就行了，所以它能安装。
So you can leave just a gap of 2 centimeters from the ceiling to the unit.
很好啊，你看夏天开始制冷的时候，哇，它就吹出了一个这个叫做天幕风。这是因为根据康达效应，冷风就会贴着天花板，然后到墙壁形成。
So using the physics of heat convection to explain how the aircon will work.
这没什么难度啊，你制热。
Although I'm sure there's a reason why they have made the aircon blowers always face the bottom for some reason. So I'm not sure what is the benefit of putting it at the top there. Or you can also do this form of
翻转过来，并且这个导风板跟这个机身之间形成了一个11.3度的黄金夹角。这个机身是微微倾斜的，就是为了精心设计的这个夹角，它能够让热风这样吹下来，形成一个非常厚实的。
So it can also work as a warmer apparently by letting all the hot air go down.
所以我们就是这样创新型的改变了整个空调的风路，无论是天幕风制冷还是地毯风制暖，都给大家带来非常舒适的风感和享受。因为它是个很创新的产品啊，我们也正经的去做了一下认证。先看这个。
So okay, they are touting the certificates that they got
表现非常棒。
for that show their performance of the air conditioner, but whether or not it is actually able, you can maintain it well without problems is also another issue altogether. So there is a reason why the best-selling brand, aircon brand in Singapore is Mitsubishi. Again, they are touting the energy-saving properties of this aircon.
软件极为智能，我们的凌云智控引擎能让整个的温度调节和计算效率更高。所以这款空调创新的形态给大家带来了 Pro 级的舒适。
Pro aircon, my god. Will there be an Ultra aircon available in the future? And the aircon only costs 3,499 yuan.
所以大家可以看到啊，小米的家电在前10年完成了对产业的学习和积累，我们也有很多的爆品。但是到现在，我们开始走出了一些不一样的路径。我们真的是很认真的去理解消费者在使用家电的时候，他们的痛点是什么。
So they are talking about how they really research on what are the pain points of their consumers.
创新的产品，也希望大家能够支持和喜欢。
So they hope that people will enjoy the innovations.
因为我发现很多。
So they're talking about services of their white goods, how they provide aftercare service.
这里重点介绍一下我们的送拆装一体，也就是一次上门能够搞定，对吧？以前要来。
About their assembling and maintenance services.
拆除和安装全都搞定了，并且我们平均1.6天就能完成这个动作。
So they can complete the assembly within less than 2 days.
覆盖了超过2800个县区，所以随着我们。
And they have covered over nearly 3,000 places around China.
那现在呢，既有新品，又有好的服务，还是双11，并且当下一轮啊，国家的以旧换新补贴力度挺大的，所以如果大家最近感兴趣，可以考虑一下我们的科技家电。好，那介绍到这里呢，除了汽车以外的所有人和家的产品。
Finally, here is the summary of all they are launching: the phones, the tablet, the watch, the smart band, the white goods, the TV, and all that. Although I'm not sure how the white goods will compare in terms of reliability compared to the usual Japanese brands that most people in Singapore they trust more, I think. So Li Jun is now back on stage. He's asking you, how do you like these new products?
是不是可以用一个词来形容 amazing？
Are these all these products amazing?
实话实说，我相信都会特别抢手。如果各位有心仪的产品，我建议现在动手去抢。
So they're telling you, please go and pre-order right now. They're encouraging people to pre-order right now.
好，这些产品呢都非常出色啊！我只推荐一个产品。
If there's only one product you have to buy, you can buy, please choose Xiaomi 15. That's what he's trying to suggest. He says that this is the product that has made him most impressed and satisfied.
最长、精致度最高、手感最出色的小屏旗舰。我自己呢参与测试用了几个月，真的我特别喜欢。它的标准版有4个颜色，甚至我们还又做了小米15的亮银版。大家还记得我们当年发布小米6亮银版的时候，
So here talking, trying to recap the different special editions they are creating.
专门出了亮银版。当然，还有一个极为震撼的是呢，官网提供了20种机身颜色，
Yes, the Motomaker version.
全部是亮银，全部是高亮的玻璃后盖啊，而且还有2种中框可选。当然，最震撼的是钻石限定版
And the diamond encrusted version with crocodile leather.
纹理，配星空顶的相机模组，再加镶钻。我刚才在网上看到很多女生喜欢，当然也有不少男生也喜欢啊，连我看着都有点心动了。
Talking about how even the men like it as well, even though this limited edition is actually meant is targeted at women.
销售订的货很少，他们不是很看好。如果你们真的喜欢，这个是真的要抢的啊！
If you really want this product, it's a limited edition, so please grab it early. That's what Beijing is trying to say.
到这里呢，我想
And
都累了，但是即将迎来我们今天最重磅的产品——小米速七 Ultra。
And now they're talking about their new EV, the Xiaomi SU7 Ultra.
大家呢都特别关注我们在柳北刷圈的新闻啊！我在这里稍微科普。
Apparently, they did an entire round trip around Germany.
柳北不是特别了解啊，柳北其实是汽车工业的圣地。
Seems to be a famous test track in Germany.
它实际上是20.8公里的一个封闭双车道的山路，它是个山路啊，177个弯，落差。
So he's emphasizing the property of this test track.
像这样的弯道，如果你开个70-80公里的话，估计你不觉得有啥。可是我们刷圈的时候，时速能到350公里，平均时速200公里，非常恐怖，号称绿色地狱。很多人第一次上柳北，坐在副驾上跑1圈就吐了。
Isn't this Nuremberg?
我自己第一次是差
Let
点
me see.
所以呢，这个刷圈是很难的。我们想了各种
Let's see what track is this.
我们居然有一个最困难的东西没有
Oh,
想
it's
到，叫天。
Nürburgring apparently. Sorry, not Nuremberg.
说万一天下雨，我们有
Green.
还包场，特别自豪。我想过程大家知道了，在过去的1个月，历尽千辛万苦。实话实说，厚道的人真的运气不错。我们经过1个月漫长的等待，终于赢得了昨天仅1个小时的刷圈机会，就是1次的机会，而且地还没有完全干的情况下，我们跑了1圈。
So he's talking about how the conditions were good for
出来的时候，真的
to achieve a test record on the SU7. minutes 46 seconds on one leg of the racetrack.
6分46秒874啊，这个成绩已经让小米速七 Ultra 的原型车成为了纽北史上全球最快的4门车。
The fastest four-door car ever on this German racetrack, in other words.
我们呢为这个成绩真的下了巨大的功夫。
So they emphasized the amount of effort they spent to achieve this result.
46秒874，可能把大家全放疯了。我说这样，我们放1分钟的剪辑，让大家感受一下极其刺激的过程，好吗？1分钟啊。
So I'm going to show a 1-minute video showing how this experience is like. Wow, they are achieving 270 kilometers per hour. Goodness. Oh, 300 plus kilometers per hour. That's crazy. Crazy. 300 plus kilometers an hour. That's crazy. Obviously, a real life production car will have the top speed electronically limited for safety reasons. But imagine.
这个6分46秒874啊，我知道呢，它凝聚了我们团队无数的心血与汗水。其实我对这个成绩啊，无比的自豪。
Adrian is basically telling how happy he was to see this result. He's very proud of the result the team achieved.
第1次造车，今天想一想都有点后怕。第1次造车就敢于亮剑，敢于征战纽北。我们希望用这个行动来跟大家表达小米造车的巨大的决心和巨大的勇气。这个困难比我们想象的要大很多，这个成绩来之不易，也借这个机会呢，诚挚感谢纽北官方。
So he's thanking the people who run this racetrack in Germany.
多次倾力相助，我们才赢得了1次宝贵的刷圈机会，才有今天的成绩。在此呢，对所有帮助我们的朋友们表示最诚挚的感谢。
Again, thanking the people behind the team behind this track setting record.
当然，这个成绩呢，只是原型车，只是第1步。量产车要想获得一个好成绩，还非常非常难。我们等量产车正式上市以后，我们会继续刷圈。征战纽北绝对不是一件简单的事情啊，因为量产车跟原型车非常的不一样。原型车我们可以只考虑赛道，只验证技术，然后不计成本，不计代价。但是原型车这么干可以，量产车不行。所以摆在我们面前的挑战还是很漫长的路，我们还是要用敬畏之心持续。
Okay, he's just practicing a little bit of philosophical about the car.
我们7月份发布以后呢，很多朋友都说确实好看，希望我们量产车也做成这个样子。但是大家想一想，开着这样的车跑在大街上，是不是有点夸张啊？
So you're thinking it's a bit ridiculous to have this car on the
量产车要有
road?
量产车的样子，要适合各种场合使用。其实我们的量产车也很帅，大家一起来看看视频。
So this apparently is the street legal version of the SU7 Ultra. Hopefully this is the last of all this, and then
这就是我们的 Ultra，是不是特别帅？
so this is their street legal version of the SU7 Ultra, which is
小车
probably
上到5.1米，它是我们小米
so the GPU was actually manufactured in Penang, right? On the Gamer Boy.
高端、性能最强大的一辆车，它跟原型车的定位非常的不同。用4个字来形容。
I see. So you had to send it mail it all the way to their manufacturing plant in Penang, right?
日常使用，穿行在大街小巷也不违和。你也可以不用改装，直接驰骋。
So this is basically just ready for race and also street legal at the same time.
我们来看一下细节啊，超大的前铲，包裹气坝，包裹 U 型的
The air vents.
它的前进气格栅加大了
Sorry for that. Hopefully you'll be able to get your refund eventually.
包括前面的这些空气套件呢，
But they'll probably still be making laptop GPUs for their Intel processors though.
我们再来看
Yeah, Xiaomi also makes cars, but the EVs so far, I've not really seen them outside China at all. If you go down to Lekki, you can see quite a lot of China EV brands already, like BYD, Zeekr, MG, etc., etc.
材质的，它的翼展长达1.56米，
So they are talking about how big the spoiler is.
这是法规允许范围。
Come on, Only Gamer Boy, you must note that the US will never give out help for strategic and political reasons. That's all I can say.
甚至我们在
You know that.
还装了一个主动扩散器，大家看到了吧？主
And
动
the automatic
你日
air
常
filter,
的时候呢，它能降
air
低
convection, something to bring out the air.
赛道的时候，它能提供下压力。所以呢，我们专门提供了赛用的主动尾部扩散器。就像这样一辆车的话，它最大的下压力
At least
高达
this isn't really, at least what Intel is doing doesn't directly kill people.
300
It doesn't lead to injuries or death directly, so that is the silver lining.
然后闪电黄配银色的拉花，漂不漂亮？
He's talking about the paint job of that color. Is it very nice?
原型车不一样，它其实就是我们常说的西装暴徒。外表
Okay, fair, but still not as serious as losing your life, right?
它就是这样一辆车。
Just know that.
好，我们再看一下内饰设计，也特有特点。全新的运
Okay, they're talking about the interior of the car. Very Lamborghini-ish, if I must say.
刺绣徽标，啊，专属的。
Oh, by the way, how that means family with they just scrapped the car. Actually, just sent their previous car for export this morning, and it had a very simple interior like this one, dual tone interior.
还有黄色的回正标志。
An Alcantara steering wheel, wrapping the left and right sides of the
手握处包覆的是
steering wheel.
Alcantara 的面料，哇，这个一看运动感就拉满啊。Alcantara 的这个面料呢，非常非常高档啊。这种面料的
And the total amount of Alcantara used inside the interior is worth 5 square meters.
翻毛皮，基本高端车。
Yeah, I know, but at least for this, the worst for the Intel saga is that maybe you lose some money lose some time. But Boeing Saga,
而且呢，
you lose
还用了
people get injured, people lose their life. Which one is more important to you? You tell me.
看到碳纤维
Okay, now carbon fiber finishing.
就兴奋了，因为它极其昂贵。为什么碳纤维这么贵呢？因为它强度高，
Yeah, but
运动感
life is more important than money, don't you think?
减重。
Oh, yes, correct,
那么
correct.
我们整车用了多少束碳纤维呢？可能没有原
So
型
maybe someday for Boeing, you'll see whether CNC or the China-based
多的啊。
tank companies, they will, whether or not it can crack the market or not.
踏板
Probably will be sooner rather than later.
后排的出风口4条，门板的4条，包括座椅的背板都是碳纤维的，甚至我们还
Okay, this material is being applied everywhere in the car,
剪成碳顶啊，
including the roof of the car.
平方米的碳纤维，非常帅，减重呢12公斤。那全车呢有17束碳纤维，3.74平方米。
Sorry, sometimes I need to moderate the chat so it doesn't become too extreme because I want this to be family friendly as much as possible, you know that.
高巧估计也便宜不少
So sorry, sometimes I can't have everything you say on chat, Play Gamer Boy.
啊。不过呢，比
So just try to keep your language as tame as possible, thanks. It's okay, we understand your frustration.
内饰豪华，而且运动，更重要的是它的性能极其的出色。它也是第一
Hi, Radical, nice to see you back. A follow will be very much appreciated as well.
和原型车
Hopefully you'll be able to find a better keyboard soon.
强大的动力系统。那它的动力有多强呢？
So they're now talking about their new trim for the SU7 car, which is SU7 Ultra,
大马力
the world's fastest
1548匹，
car to ever grace the German racetracks.
1.98秒，
Oh my. Oh dear.
是汽车科技巅峰表现啊！千万级超跑才具备的实力啊！还有
A bit sad, right? Because if Intel had been if
最高设计
Intel could have provided more competition.
公里每小时
Okay, the top speed for SU7 Ultra is 350 kilometers an hour.
量产车的实力啊！这个
Yeah.
它的
Hopefully, I wish actually Intel should have been providing help provide good competition against Nvidia so we can get
它不仅
better
0到100
value for money, but fortunately not the case.
5.86秒，也就是说
So yeah, so these are the
可能只有70、80的时候
0 to 100 in 2 seconds,
所以它的
0 to 200 5.86, 0 to 400 in 400 meters in
我们
less than 10 seconds.
定位成什么呢？可合法上路的4门赛车。
So rather for a follow, we very much appreciated if you haven't.
4门赛车，当然要做到这个水平，它需要强大的技术支撑。好，我们来看一下啊，我们专门设计的
Okay, so this electric motor developer Ultra, it can achieve up to 2,000, 20,700 and 200 revolutions per minute.
它是目前转速最高、性能最强大的量产车主驱电机啊，非常强。而且呢，它是超级善电机系统，拥有2个 V8S 和1个 V6S 的电机啊。而且呢，它有强大的矢量控制、扭矩矢量控制系统啊，然后按最高的功能标准。按最高的功能安全标准来设计的，每秒500次独立控制扭矩，来提高操控性和稳定性。可能这个对汽车不太了解的朋友不太懂啊，我用几句话给大家简单的讲一下。
So
过弯的时候，它可以把扭矩更多分配给外侧的车能，这样呢减少转向不足或者推头。
So I think he's talking about better things that improve the handling of the car.
哎，它就快速降低打滑车轮的扭矩，同时10度降低另外一侧的扭矩，来提高稳定性。所以呢，这个扭矩矢量控制系统呢非常重要，在赛道上表现就会很出色。而且它还有赛道专用。
Okay, this is the property of the battery that's inside the SU7 Ultra.
几个指标大家 大家听说过400伏、800伏啊，这是897伏，顶到满了吧？还有最大充电倍率5.2C，10%到80%的充电只需要11分钟，厉害吧？这也是今天最顶的吧？当然，赛道电池包啊，其实还有个更重要的参数，就是输出功率。因为你的动力再强，你的功率跟不上，是吧？也是白搭呀。其实，在高速驾驶是极其耗电的，你需要有非常强大的输出功率，才能供给你的电机需求。那好，我们最大
So something about having a very good
16C
battery
说是1330千瓦，哪怕在低电量的时候，依然能输出800千瓦的。
very good battery in order to get a good experience, fast speed.
最后是2-3公里的大直道，一定要跑到320甚至350公里的时候，那时候你电量不足，你速度上得去吗？你肯定上不去。所以，当你电量不足的时候，依然保持了恐怖的输出，所以这才是这个电池包厉害的地方。当然，拥有这样的能力啊，仅是性能不够。还要很强的散热系统。我们在
And this is all the heat dissipating mechanisms they employ in the car.
都做了大幅度的提升，它好到了什么程度呢？一般的电车跑纽北1圈都跑不下来的，而 Ultra 量产车连续2个飞行圈，
And it can still keep the cool after 2 rounds of this German racetrack.
能够连续跑2圈不过热，这才是真的厉害。所以它的散热系统非常的强大。跑得快呢，还要刹得住啊，刹车呢是重中之重。好，我们来看
How fast it can slam the brakes. From 100 to 0, it will travel 30.8 km, 30.8 meters before it comes to a stop.
更重要的是，180公里踩到
From 180 to 0.
连续踩10次不衰减。
And you can do it 10 times consecutively without facing problems.
这么高的能量的情况下，要连续踩10次不衰减，所以它的刹车性能非常的出色。为什么这么出色呢？
Why is the braking ability so good?
碳陶盘。
Something about the brake calipers.
这玩意啊，这个一看就是10万块钱的东西啊。
10,000 Chinese yuan per brake caliper.
一般选配价都在10万左右啊。好，碳陶盘厉害在什么地方呢？它有3大特点。第一个，耐高温，它能耐1000。
It can withstand high temperatures. Can use for up to 50,000 kilometers. And it also helps make it's also lighter than conventional brake calipers.
第二个呢，耐磨。大家知道呢，刹车盘用段时间就会磨损会坏，是吗？这个50万公里，几乎整个生命周期不用换。还有，它减重啊，它是碳啊，它减重啊，碳陶瓷。减重呢，能减57公斤。好，就这么一个碳陶盘，我们依然也做到了跑车里面最大尺寸的。我们这个碳陶盘呢
So these are among the biggest brake calipers inside high performance cars.
也是所有跑车里面最大的。而且呢，我们还配了阿基波诺的自动卡钳，这也是顶级品牌。
And collab with a brand called Akibono.
减速度，所以呢，这些啊，安全没有高低配啊，这些全部是 Ultra 的标准配置，就这么强。底盘系统呢，我们也标配了闭式双腔空簧，高性能的阻力可变减震器，这样平时开呢很舒服，运动的时候呢也有支撑性。当然，我们还有脚牙减震器可选。这也是专业装备啊，这是赛事级别的啊。它的弹簧刚度高，最大阻力9000牛，过弯的时候能提供无以伦比的支撑性。加速式呢，抬头抑制更好；自动式呢，点头能够缓解，侧倾呢能够。
Something regenerating capability.
专业装备可选配，我今天呢就不展开讲了。我今天要跟大家讲个更重要的事。 Ultra 呢在开发这辆车的时候，我们就下了一个决心，要把纽北赛道当实验场，要在纽北调教。告诉大家一个秘密，我们的量产车今年6月11号就开始在纽北调教了，就驰骋在纽北的赛道上。
So the preparation for the record setting lap began on June 11, 2024.
可赛的巅峰性能的科技轿车。这辆车呢不仅仅快，而且
Not just fast, the car,
特别有感觉。
but it also has a very good handling.
没有以前的油车有感觉，你试试 Ultra 一定很有感觉。为什么呢？运动声呐。好，我们做了多种运动声呐可选。
So basically develop a very sporty sound for the engine, which is necessary because electric vehicles, but by default, they are very quiet, much more quiet than conventional petrol engines. So they have to add this noise also for legal reasons as well.
可以吗？
So this is the artificial sound that it makes when it accelerates.
超脉冲，这个很特别。
Oh, and this sound is actually customized. Actually, there are multiple configurations of sound you can choose from apparently. Seems. I think they sound a bit too sci-fi though, not really quite
它吓着大家。
the same sound as a conventional petrol car.
外放40瓦的扬声器，
40-watt speakers,
真实。
although they don't seem to be tuned by any particular brand.
在路上非常拉风啊。当然，我们不鼓励大家炸街扰民啊。这个运动声浪的外放是可以关闭的啊。好，大家一起来欣赏一下。开在赛道上啊。
Another test track video. You can see.
是不是有感觉了？还有一个更有感觉的来了啊！我们还有专属赛道 APP。你只要进赛道，
Also an app just for
赛道地
racing.
当前圈速、各种车控信息，还可以3屏联动，实时显示圈速。
Tell you all the stats at once from the infotainment screen.
它可以选
I don't really like the new trend of a lot of Chinese brands just using one big tablet as screen for all the infotainment needs. I think I prefer a more integrated approach with a few physical buttons at the very minimum.
选了我们一个同事的圈速。
I still think that Toyota and Subaru are doing this properly.
哎，
That's my just own personal opinion though.
而且呢，它甚至还有分析工具。哎，哪个地方开得好，哪个地方
And the app can also give you insights on your track performance and how it can be improved in the future.
你是越开越上瘾啊。好，还有一个更重要的，赛道视频片段，加
And there's even you can use inbuilt camera to even record
专业的第一人称视角的视频，
your track, how you did your tracks.
好玩吗？
Is it fun to you? He's asking the crowd.
然后呢，我们支持了国内20家专业赛道的地图，所以你的车只要
So he also has preloaded map for 20 of China's
特别
test tracks.
所以呢，这一辆车可能比大家想象的好玩。所以呢，到时候呢，大家有机会试驾一下，就知道这个产品有多好了。聊到这里的话呢，还想跟大家聊几句啊。Ultra 呢是一辆大马力的性能车，或者顶级的性能车，安全驾驶呢非常重要。所以呢，我们设计了很多安全的措施。比如说你在赛道上首次使用，需要一定的驾驶能力或者驾驶资格的认证。所以呢，要提醒大家呢，赛道驾驶是一种专业技能，还是要经过培训，有教练指导，有安全措施。你只要按照这个标准做是安全的，所以你一定要非常小心。所以呢，我为什么一再强调安全驾驶啊？平时开车的时候呢，要限制马力，
So,
的专业赛车手啊，其实平时开车他们都非常的小心。
so basically something about distinguishing between racing and regular driving.
知道开到什么地方能刹得住。很多人啊，是因为没有接受过专业培训，不太了解。3年前呢，我们为了把车做好，在我们小米内部啊，我是强制要求中高层全部要学习赛道培训，要拿赛照。
So about having a certificate to really drive do track racing properly.
同学呢拿到了赛车驾照。最近呢，我们发起了一个1000人行动，就是要让1000个人小米员工拿到赛车驾照，要让我们内部大家热爱驾驶，知道怎么驾驶，因为这样才能真正把车做好。所以呢，我最近在思考一个问题：我们是不是把这些培训课程有3类的培训课程啊？因为我们很多人拿到驾照以后，其实不是真的会开车，所以我们有高级驾驶培训，有赛道驾驶培训，有漂移培训。
So different kinds of training to master the car.
让大家都有机会接受好的培训。我相信，经过培训之后，很多人就不会在马路上逞强斗狠。
We promise that after the training, you will be a better driver both on track and off the track.
今年呢，我去了那个看 F1 啊，在上海。
So he's talking about visiting F1 in Shanghai.
都在鼓掌。我在想，我也希望在世界级的比赛中见到更多优秀的中国车手。
He's hoping to see more Chinese drivers in Formula One.
我们更和是吧，车主朋友们在马路上逞强，那不是一个真正的英雄的表现啊。Ultra 呢定位成巅峰性能的科技轿车，是一个真正的6边形战士。我们今天只讲了性能，还有智能驾驶、智能座舱、安全和豪华配置。等我们正式发布的时候再给大家讲，好吗？好，下面我们以热烈的掌声欢迎 Ultra 真车上场。
So they are now reviewing the actual car live on stage. Okay. Is he handsome? The car good looking?
各位看一下它的前铲，是吧？它的那个 U 型的风刀都特别的漂亮。聊到这里的话呢，我想再看一眼总结。我想这款产品应该不用总结了啊，它是地表最强的4门量产车，而且是纽北调教，而且呢，它的动力高达1548匹，所以呢，我也不想总结了。这个年底呢，我们苏七预发布的时候，我们第一次坐车啊，不太懂。
So it's admitting how it was a bit difficult to enter the car market.
被很多网友骂惨了。这一次呢，我打算尊重行业规律啊，发布一个预售价。
So it's now giving a suggested price for the SU7 Ultra.
按通常的惯例呢，比一下保时捷。
So he's comparing to the Porsche Taycan Turbo GT, which is about 200,000 Chinese yuan. Yeah, actually closer to a million. So they're comparing the speed, but obviously you don't get the same sort of prestige from the Porsche. So this is closer to about 815,000 yuan in China.
是吧？这个有机会大家拍下来慢慢比啊。
I don't know why all the foreign car companies are struggling in China when you have such good domestic competition.
81,490。那个21寸的轮胎呢，轮毂需要选配37000，这个碳陶盘选配呢109500，加起来96万吧，96万。那么这2样呢，我们的 Ultra 都是标配的。那么我们该定多少钱呢？
So again, it's comparing the specs favorably compared to the Model S of Tesla.
好，我们在标配了碳陶盘，标配了21寸的轮毂，标配了倍耐力的 P05 的轮胎，这些赛道装备都是标配的啊。这个定价多少钱呢？814900。
And yes, pricing it at the same price as the Tesla Model S.
这个呢，大家可以下来仔细比一下啊，跟特斯拉的 Model S Plaid 比的话，是非常非常有诚意和有竞争力的。因为可能我们很多人对这种超跑不够了解啊，这个回头大家可以仔细看看资料，我们比较一下再看啊。好，聊到这里的话呢。
So the car will be ready for release next year, March 2025. Or you can already pre-order it tonight. Just once the keynote has finished.
所以呢，我估计呢，我们明年上半年的产能。
And you can put a deposit of about 10,000 Chinese yuan to secure a pre-order. But you can get a refund if you decide to back out in the future.
现在就开始预定，这个预定金多少钱呢？1万块啊。正式发布以后，随时可退。大家看到没有？好，接着怎么预定？
So you want to reserve the car now, you have to pay a deposit of 10,000 yuan, but you can have it refunded to you in case you get cold feet.
或者打开微信小程序，可以快速的预定。大家会了吗？好，这个预定金呢1万，产品正式发布以后随时可退。小米汽车 APP 里面呢来预定啊。好，我们今天到场的很多朋友说，这个是吧 ？Ultra 还要等几个月，能不能先上车模？帮大家准备好了。
And they also have a 1 to 18 die-cast model for 599 yuan. I think they should probably try this overseas. Maybe it can just serve as a tantalizing introduction to Xiaomi cars overseas. And they have a special luxury edition with a leather base for 200 yuan more. And one in a special box for even more if you wanted that. And even a mug based on this design for 79 Chinese yuan. And you can buy all from their specialized shopping app.
好，我们今天的发布会呢，马上就要结束了。
At last, they ended this 3 hour 30 minutes long keynote. But somehow I felt that their organization was a lot better than the Vivo and the Oppo ones for some reason. I think. Okay. So why you drive this Ultra? Because we are chasing the dream car.
为那些向往巅峰性能的人，为那些向往快意人生的人，为那些向往超越平凡生活的人。
Those who want to live an extraordinary life. So they are trying to create a dream car that satisfies all these kind of people.
还有人问我，说小米产品卖到80多万了，是不是小米变了，还是小米飘了？其实，我真正关心的是，我们为大家精心准备的产品，够不够酷，够不够好，值不值这个价钱？
So they are seeing whether their products are good quality, awesome, innovative, and have a good price.
这也是一个
So again, they are reiterating their messaging, their marketing philosophy.
和超越自我的向往。我们创业14年来就是这样一步一步学习。
So in the 14 years, they have learned and gone one step on another. So it's a new starting point for Xiaomi. So soon they'll be having the 15th anniversary next year. So they are anticipating and anticipation and confidence for this.
只有自信才能驾驭强大。
Only self-confidence can lead to great things and can challenge the impossible. So this is one nice motivational challenge finish.
接着我们会播放 Ultra 原型车挑战纽北6分46秒的一刀未剪版。好，谢谢大家。
So this is the end already, and I think all the guests are going to do the hands-on right now. Let's see. With that, okay, so now they are playing the video, real time live. So I think there is not much to really see already. So maybe for now, what we do is this. Let me just launch another window or such. Hold on. Actually, I can't. I think maybe I should just... never mind. I've changed my mind already. Maybe we just take a look at the various things on Twitter, what they have said so far, to get things back on track. And after a quick look at what Twitter is saying about the Xiaomi products, we will see what to do. Okay, so if you want a translation of all that he was saying about SU7 Ultra, you should look at Lei Jin's Twitter account. He will probably explain it much better than I do. Okay, next maybe we'll just take a look. Let's see what happens if I just search for Xiaomi. Actually, a lot of them are in Japanese because I follow a lot of Japanese accounts. Yes, and this is the Moto Maker Reviver. Okay. Yeah, okay. That. Okay. Imagine Moto Maker has returned. Okay, with that, I think there is not much we can go through it. This is the end of the event. I'd rather not let it go on for too long. So let me just see who we can rate today. Rate Kuro. Today we are rating Kuro Kazuki. And so we will start the raid for Kuro Kazuki right now. Hopefully they will respond nicely in kind. Hold on. Okay, two raiders. Wait, now let's just rate the raid. Sorry. Yes, it went well. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for this.
That's 5 or 6. Getting their lifetime Hope you had a wonderful stream. Thank you for interacting with the community. Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
They even have an electric car. Damn.
Yeah, that car is... yeah. famous famous.
iPhone 16 still not released in Indo. Even after so long, damn.
Okay, I think we will end the stream over here while I continue chatting with Kuro for a moment. All the best and see you soon. Hopefully I can do more of these kind of live streams. 2K, thank you.